here, and we're here to interview some of the people who are involved with the team. And the first man we're going to talk to is Declan McKay. Declan's been a selector with the team for quite a while, I think.
Second year with the club.
There you go. Okay. How are preparations going for the county final?
The preparation is going very well. We haven't had much really time to do much training between all the matches, but the matches themselves are great preparation for any final. So we've had the draw against the Harps, and we had a tough match 2 weeks earlier to that against Strandhill. So the guys are in a good physical shape. It's a question now of getting them into the right mental shape for the final.
And you've been playing league game in the meantime. That must be, is that a help or a hindrance?
Well, you know, it depends what way you look at it. We felt it was a help because you were looking for a challenge match anyway, and it was an important league game for both ourselves and Eastern. Even though we were short a few players on the day, I was very pleased with the best performance. Notwithstanding the fact that the county final on the mind 2 weeks away, and obviously they didn't want injuries to happen or be put off and things like that. So the guys showed a great maturity and a great attitude in that game, and we came out of it with a share of the spoils, so we're happy enough.
You mentioned injuries. Have you any injury problems leading up to the big day?
We haven't, no. Everybody's in a clean bill of health at the moment. There's probably 1 or 2 players that just need an injury, but I expect them to clear up. I don't expect anything of that might happen at all between now and next Sunday. But you never know. Like, I mean, it's a week away yet to the match, and you never know what can happen. Fellas can get sick or flu and things like that. So you have to be prepared for every eventuality. But we have a very strong panel. We've about 29, 30 players to pick from. So we have a very strong panel. So we'll get through the semi-final without James Joyce. So I think once if you can get through a semi-final without James Joyce, you can get through anything.
He's probably a loss, but as you say, you have to get on with it for the big day, and your preparations and enthusiasm of the team itself is a big factor in this club, I think.
Well, I mean, that's right. I mean, it's a team effort. It's a panel effort. It's not any one individual. It's a whole background team. There's the club itself, the officers of the club. There's the background team, myself and Mick Hart and John McPartlin Senior, and then with Patsy Healy and Paul Bunninadden and a few people that give us a hand out on the sideline. Things like that. So it's very much a team effort.
It's the fact that you had to play a replay, and it was a low-scoring game, a pretty hard game for you in the second half. You defended very well. That must be a good preparation in itself.
It is, yeah. And a lot of people are making a lot out of this low scoring, but I mean, the Harps are a very they're a very good team. I mean, they're everybody's favourite this year to win the championship. We don't get scores easy against the likes of Harp. Probably there was a few chances probably from freezing that we should have taken, and probably with a little bit more maturity and maybe a little bit more confidence we would have put those away. But we're working on that, and I can assure you that in the final we'll have those things right,
Yourselves, and we haven't mentioned Bunninadden. I was nearly afraid to mention them, but it's a novel final, and it must be great for county football as well in Sligo that it's a novel pairing.
Well, it is. It's great to see the likes of Bunninadden and Coolera in the final and give great hope and that to other clubs who I mean, I've been a great believer in the last number of years that any club that really puts their mind to it and works hard are well capable of getting to a county final. And there's 7 or 8 clubs. There's a very much a levelling off of standards in the county, and I'm delighted that both those teams are in the final.
And the fact that underage work in the last 7, 8, 10 years, and even this year you've been in a few underage finals as well. That must be a help and good for the future of the club.
It does, and it's great. I mean, the officers of the club deserve great credit for that, because I mean, I'm only here last year and this year, but I mean, this doesn't happen overnight. I mean, the seeds for this success were sown by the people who nurtured a lot of those players at underage level right up through the different levels, and I mean, but for that we wouldn't be here today, and they deserve great credit for that.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jack. I wish you the best of luck on big day. Well, Joe, thanks very much. You must have a lot of drains on your time at the minute. Thanks very much for giving us the time to interview you. You've a long association with this club. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm in Coolera now, maybe over 25 years. And see, all of that time in the club, mainly through underage up through the ranks for the championship, which is a great year. This is a great year for the club.
You're Doohan then. I presume you have some tips to bring us in Doohan for the Coolera club.
Well, watching our draw last Sunday, a bit of heart on the day won a lot of things. And Coolera has no doubt happened as well. And the performance against Eastern Park in the semi-final was a joy to watch, especially in the second half, when the chips were down, the lads dug deep and get through. And no doubt I think they'll do the same in the final.
Yeah, that was a factor in the semi-final. The heart of the Coolera club seemed to show through, especially in the second half. And
That's right.
it was one of the big strong factors in this club.
It was this year, like Declan and the boys have done a very professional job of the senior team, and it's great heart. But other years it just wasn't there. They had the players, but just the bite just was not there. But it's there this year.
You're playing in Markovich Park. That for the type of football you play, I would think that must be a benefit for the players.
Well, we like to play fast, open game, and big white spaces in Markovich Park will help the team on the day.
Do you think that? Where do you think the game will be won or lost?
Well, there's always crucial areas in the field, and midfield, picking up the big run midfield, and our backline, which has been playing well all year. If we can hold for one more game, we have to find it.
Where do you think Coolera can go from strength to strength from this?
Well, this year now, we're in 3 underage A finals. Although we've been beaten under 12 and under 16, we have a minor final to come and a senior final. We've already won the pick and choose senior league. So this is success that we know nothing about before. The greatest year ever for the club.
Yeah, because in the past there have been teams from Coolera and that played great football and had hard luck stories. Some of the teams maybe 10, 12 years ago. So it's great to see this team getting into the final.
Well, it is. The club has worked hard and very hard the last 15 years. We set up their minor board here in the mid-80s. And a lot of them lads went through all the way from the 12, under 14, under 16. And one under 14 clear aside, some of them lads. So we know what success is about these lads. They have no worries of defeat.
Thanks very much. I wish you the best of luck in the final.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. This must be a great occasion, John, for this club to be going into a county final.
Oh, great occasion for Coolera. Since 1946, like the first county final, it's history. We're making history. Our young fellas, 2 generations of footballers gone, and now we're going to play for another 9 years.
That's, I think, was it 1907 you won your last county title. It's been a long wait.
It's been a long wait, right, but sure, we'll wait for the best win for last.
Tony, you've long associations with this club. You must be thrilled to see you coming into the county final.
It's a fantastic occasion. It's wonderful for so many people that have worked so hard in the background with this club for so long. And I think this year, the backroom staff, the players, the commitment, everybody has been so committed to it. It's a fantastic achievement, and a win next week would certainly be a wonderful achievement for everybody associated with the club.
You yourself have been involved in underage teams, so you must get a special thrill of this success.
Quite a number of these boys. I mean, the current chairman, Joe Gildee, John here, and Tom Gilroy, Tom Gilligan, and myself were associated with a team, very successful team. A lot of this boys are coming through now at senior level and have at county level as well, and certainly it would be the icing on the cake. Unfortunately, we missed out on the minors, but we certainly under 12, under 14, under 16. In fact, for the Liam Devine was the man that started all at under 12. We won the Fela as well in Galway, and I think a lot of these boys now are coming through, and they certainly have all the ability to go all the way this year. I have no doubt.
Of course, that's another factor. You mentioned some of those players and people like Pete Coney and Tom Gilligan and a lot of others there. You know, it's there. So what years gone by that they've brought this success about in an indirect way.
That's right, but I mean, during the week here we had a number of the members of the former 1946 team, and all the people in the past within this club that have worked extremely hard to keep the club rolling over. And it was very, very difficult, and it was very, very difficult times. But the people that have, the former players and the former officials that have worked for this club to bring into this, and I hope that certainly every one of them would be very, very thrilled, both themselves and their families, if we were to ensure to win against Bunninadden next Sunday.
John, as a Fermanagh man, you must have some other little tips that you to bring to this club, or?
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be all on the day if we go out against Bunninadden. Actually, come to the finals 50-50. Like, no matter what, whether we're favourites or whether Bunninadden's favourites or not, I don't know. You know, it'll be all on the day if we can produce the goods and play as well as we can play with the other shares at the end.
Your backline played very well the last day. Would you think that's the strong part of the team?
Well, overall the backline definitely in the second half against the Harps that closed them down. I think they played the best game we ever played in defence. But having said that, we'd have to function in all players over the field. Like, all the players, I think, as a unit, we're playing fairly well now, and hopefully we have it right for next Sunday.
Tony, as first time for this club in the county final. Must be great for football in general as well as Bunninadden being there. They have been there for a while either.
I think for the county generally, it's a fantastic achievement to see both Coolera and Bunninadden in the final. I mean, for many years you had so many very fine teams that would expect to be in the county final. This year you have two outsiders that at the beginning of the season nobody would have given them much hope. But to see two teams, and particularly our own team this year, I mean, we've worked extremely hard, and in fact it's the backroom team and the panel, the whole panel, not just the team but the panel. We've a great backup panel there, and they've worked extremely hard in training. They have been very disciplined, and I think that it augurs well for the future for this club.
In the replay, that was obvious about team spirit. That in the second half there, some of the forwards were back, helping out the backs under all the pressure. That seems to be a big factor in the success of this team.
Well, I suppose the way a footballer's gone now, when you have the ball you're attacking, and when you haven't got it you have to defend, and I think our fellas I think has took that to mind, and they're doing fairly well at it. But the Bunninadden game, like, was going to be different. Game articles in recent half, you know, it's another game, how we play, how they play, what tactics you use, that's all to play for. So on the day, hopefully it'll be us.
Tactics are still important in club football, are they?
There's one or two we'd have to look at now.
Okay, thanks very much, John, and Tony. Wish you the best.
Sligo now, and I have very happy associations with this club. I was 7 years here from '83 to the year 1990, and I think the first year I came, the one in under 12, that had nothing to do with me, but I could see the tremendous interest in football in this area, and I would always bring away from Sligo the happiest memories that I got from here, and I was absolutely delighted. The only disappointment I had in the years was that they didn't come sooner, because I thought that the potential was there, but was never realised. There's a tremendous standard of underage football here in this club, and always has been, and a great tradition. And I was a bit disappointed that it took so long to bear fruit, but certainly it has now, and I'm delighted, absolutely thrilled. I was in tears actually when they beat Harps in the replay.
Okay, you mentioned sooner, Andy, you probably maybe had slight regrets that it didn't come sooner. You played long, many a day for the club, but you must be still delighted.
That's true. I played for over 20 years. I am delighted, and to think that my father, late father and uncle, Mick and Ted Waters, played on the last team that got to the county final in 1946. To think that now another Waters, Tony, my cousin, is on that team. I thought that we'd surely ourselves see it, our county final, or play in it, but that never happened. So it's a long wait for us. Delighted to see them reach it. You have to reach it to win it, and it was great to see, and to conjure up some names like the Cartys, the Hart, the Waterses, and still there today. So they're going back a long time. Some of those under 12, particularly two of them, Shane O'Neill and Stephen, father and I had them to win an under 12 county title.
James Joyce was there.
James Joyce as well.
Karen Gilligan, they were fine footballers. You see the potential was there.
So see them coming through.
Then you had, just slightly earlier than that, under 12, we had Gavin Foley and Neil Carew. All the lads were coming through now. It was great to see them. Some of them now, younger fellas coming up, I wouldn't know any from resemblances, but Shane's brother Carol, a fantastic footballer. I always thought Stephen Carty had great potential, and I'm delighted to see us coming through now, because he had a run at the county senior team, maybe a little bit before his time, but I certainly think the selectors could look at him again. He's a fine player. I think he'll show it in the final. I hope this doesn't put pressure on him now, but I think he'll show it in the final. James Joyce, another class player, and they were class players at underage, and it's coming through now, thankfully, and I think there's a great future in this club.
That's the beauty of the club. It's only when they reach a final, because they go back, the history of the locality comes into play as well.
But I have to mention though, like people who slogged away through the years, like Petey Cooney, I remember coming out here I wasn't long aside when the referee came in Petey Cooney's field, and when there was no other field or facilities available, Petey's field was there. Petey, down through the years, in good times and in bad, and very often in bad times, he stuck with it, And I think people like that should be acknowledged now for the tremendous contribution they've made. They never lost the faith in this club, and it's coming through now. And I said Peter would be very proud man, and several others as well, and the families that Eddie mentioned, the Waters families, the Scandals, the Devannies, all these are a legend in Coolera football. They're synonymous with Coolera football, and I'm delighted for them. It's great to see it. Just a little bit sorry for people like Mickey Scandal, maybe Eddie himself, just missed the boat a little bit, but they won junior championship medals and that. Their inspiration is still there.
I just on highlighting that point, other players, the likes of Brian Devanny, Francie Fine and Johnny Kid, all county players in their own right and played for them. There probably was a county, they would have won a county title actually in later years. We came up against the likes of St. Pat's who won 6 titles in a row, beat us in the semi-final 1 year well, but only for that we probably have at least 1 county title running.
In this era of professionalism, the amateur work and the people that did all this work, you mentioned Pete and many others there, it's only now when they get to the final, they get some
recognition, and it's great, and it's good that they are recognised, and I'm delighted that they should be recognised, you know, because they were the ones who kept the candle burning when things were thin, when times were bad, you know, but they never lost the faith and they kept it going, and they should be acknowledged, definitely. I think they're as important and more important than the fellows from Top Brass and Croke Park, because they are the GAA, they're the grassroots, literally the grassroots, and they're keeping it going in every club in the country, and they deserve recognition, and I'm delighted for them. And certainly Petey is a man who made a major contribution to this club, and I was delighted last year he was elected Clubman of the Year, of the century actually, and honoured by the club as Clubman of the century. It was a fitting tribute to a man who gave his life to the game, loves the game, so I'm delighted with him, and all the people, Tony there, Joe of course. And I think it's a good omen that Joe's club won the county championship last year. In fact, in that under-12 team, like Joe's son David was outstanding. He was a brilliant underage footballer, but he's gone to England since, and maybe he might come back to the game again. But there's only 4 or 5 in that team now, but I think most of them are hovering around still.
They'll come back for the
They'll come back for the win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million. Thank you. All the best.
Club, Shane O'Neill. Thank you very much, Shane.
You're very welcome.
A lot of demands in your time, but you must be really looking forward to this final.
Oh, I can't wait for the day to come. I'm absolutely thrilled that the club and the team are in the final, and the day can't come quick enough.
Does the role of captain mean a lot to you? Or?
The role of captain, I'm just honoured and privileged to have a man on my shoulders. You know, it's something I thrive on. It's not. I don't expect the players to say or do as I say. It's more do as I do, you know. So just a matter of getting out on the pitch and doing the business to the best of my ability, and trying to lead by example, and you know, get them to toe the line when I have to get them to toe the line. But there's such a deadly bunch of lads. I don't think maybe once or twice I might have to say a quiet word to 1 or 2 of the players. But other than that, it's been an absolute privilege and joy to be captain of this team.
It's quiet words rather than long speeches.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a minimalist. The less the better, but just, you know, get them going before a match as best they can, get out on the pitch and do the business. Just get them focused and concentrating on the game 100%. If anything's going wrong, just to try and get things liven up on the pitch and get the ball rolling again, you know. But it's not I don't find it a burden. I don't find it a burden at all. It's a privilege, and I'm absolutely honoured.
Team spirit is a big factor in this team. You must be happy to be involved with a team like that.
Yeah, with a team like that, I mean, the team spirit, it just comes naturally. There's such a bunch of characters together, and everyone just clicked this year. And the team spirit is phenomenal. It's great to be part of.
You know many of the Bunninadden players from playing at club level and county level. You must be very happy to be playing against some of these players, but I'm sure on the day that the friendship will be put away for an hour or so.
Absolutely. Once you take the pitch, to be a hello, how are you doing, and that's it. The next ball is mine, with the help of God.
Okay, thanks very much, Shane. I wish you the best of luck in the final.
Thank you very much.
Ballinlick Park in Bunninadden this morning with Chris Martin, chairman of the Bunninadden Club. This, I'm sure, is everyone's dream in any club to get to a county final, especially for you that have not got through the recent past anyway. What is the feeling in the club and in the parish?
Oh, it's a massive feeling. We're 109 years, a long time, and it's great to see the flags and the bouncing people's step, and our supporters and our players, and we're looking forward to it, you know, immensely.
Is there a general uplifting of the people in the parish? I'm sure there is, with all this hype. Would there be any danger that I get to the players?
Well, I suppose there's always that bit of a danger, but with the management team we have there, and the lads themselves are fairly experienced, so they got the league final last year, and there's a certain amount of hype, so I think they'll overcome that.
Has your preparation gone well and is everything in order?
Couldn't ask for better. The lads, they've trained them fierce well, and to James and Richie and John, they've done a great job. We're looking forward to a good game tomorrow.
What do you see as the strong points for you tomorrow?
Our panel.
That's good enough. I won't insult you by asking the weak points. I'm sure you don't think you have one. What part do you think the referee will play in tomorrow's game?
The referee will be the referee. He'll do his best. He's human like the rest of us, and all we want is a fair shot, and I've no doubt that Tom Welch will give us a fair shot. Shadow of a doubt.
That's fair enough. All the best. I hope everything goes well for you.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, okay.
Well, Richard, this is the eve of the big occasion. I know you've put a lot of effort into it. How is the feeling among the selection committee and the members of the panel that's looking after this team?
There's a good feeling amongst the players and ourselves, and we're feeling pretty optimistic that we can bridge that big gap that's there and bring Doohan B back.
The gap is a big thing, but it's a big thing for both clubs. The fact that there's none of the teams that have been in the finals or used to be in the finals of the Strandhill, Eastern Harps, Tubber, Eastleigh. Do you think that that's a help? Both the clubs should be starting on an even keel?
Yes, I think that's a help, and I think it's good for football to see two new teams in the final. We're a long time looking at the Strands and the Eastern Harps, and it's a good thing for football to see two new teams in the final this year.
Oh, everyone would agree with that, and it's a misfortune does have to be a loser, but both clubs, it would do a lot for them to whoever wins this tomorrow. Do you think that you have any weak points, or is there any worry that you have about the other team?
Not really. We're a balanced team. We have no real stars, and we have a good panel that anyone can come in and take a place if there's a lad not playing well on the day, as we had to do against St Mary's when we lost 3 defenders, and the 3 lads that came in done very well.
Well, with the changes that has come in the football in recent times, the depth of the panel now is very important. So you're saying you have a good, more than the 15, that you have a good subs as well?
Oh, we're very good subs, and the addition of bringing in 5 substitutions is a major help now at Cleveland football.
The fact that Coolera have so many players that have county experience or on the fringe of it over the past number of years, do you think that that will be of any benefit to them?
Oh, naturally that'll be a benefit to them, but there's a lot of experience in our own camp too, between colleges football and 1-2 intermediates and a senior league, and a good few of the lads have our Ireland medals out of Canada, so it's not that it's majorly new to a lot of them.
You're in the habit of winning, in other words?
Oh, well, we're feeling that way.
Well, I hope everything works out for you.
Right.
The best of luck to you.
Thanks.
As captain of the Sligo minor team, being captain of a team won't be any great pressure on your shoulders. How do you feel about tomorrow's game?
No, you're right, it won't be much of a burden on my shoulders, but tomorrow's game, and just looking at it as another game, really. You know, we've played Coolera 3 times this year, and the best way to look at it is this is the 4th time we're playing them. Try and forget that it's a county final. I just concentrate on the football end of it, not the occasion.
How is the spirit among the lads?
The spirit is good. I think everybody's trying to take that approach to it. Like there's no point letting an occasion get to you. The game could be over, and you wouldn't realise it if you're going with thinking as a county final and thinking as a big occasion. So everybody's just thinking of it as a game of football, and hopefully everybody should play their normal game.
There aren't too many people in Sligo who have an All-Ireland medal. You can boast that with Bunninadden. Do you think that you can influence the rest of the lads and keep them going?
Well, yeah. Well, from remembering back to that in '92, the thing that won for us was that we had a balanced team, similar to the team we have in Bunninadden, and that we were able to keep our head on when the occasion was needed, you know. And we won those games through keeping our head and being cute vital times in the game, and we'll hope to do that tomorrow.
The support, I'd say, will be marvellous from the club, and I can think of players in the past, Pat Hunt, Jerry McManus, John Healy. I'm sure they have been in contact with the club as well.
Yeah, they have. There's a list of cards up there on the wall from past players and past managers and the whole lot, and they're all wishing us well. And it's great. It's great. Hopefully everybody that ever played for Bunninadden in the last 20 or 30 years will be there shouting us on.
So I remember Pat Hunt once saying that the white ball and the green field is all he wanted, so that's all you want for tomorrow now.
Well, that's all we want, and Pat will be there, and he'll be there, I'm sure, offering any advice he can, as he always does.
Well, all the best. I hope everything goes well for you.
All right, cheers.
are going to be the key areas today? One of the clashes I'm looking forward to is the meeting of Fergal O'Flaherty and Neil Carew. Fergal, of course, captain of the Bunninadden team, and Neil just brought back into Peter Ford's Sligo panel.
Yeah, it's going to be a great clash. I suppose it's probably the clash of the day if it goes that way. As Baron said, Neil Carew has been in excellent form this year and really back, definitely worth his recall back up to the county panel. Whereas Fergal O'Flaherty has also been producing the goods for Bunninadden. Neil Carew, I think he's the one player this year that showed that he stuck very well on Paul Taylor, and Paul Taylor is an excellent footballer. But still he restricted him. That was the main threat on the Eastern Harps forward line, and Neil did a great job in both games. In restricting Paul, even though Paul scored a lot on the first day. Fergal O'Flaherty is also a good player, but that's going to be a big tussle there. But I think this game is going to be won and lost, myself personally, is around the midfield area. Kieran Quinn and Terry McMahon, two very, very strong players, tall and physique, and good ball winners. And Terry McMahon, for me, has done an awful lot of Trojan work for this Coolera team this year, especially in the replay the last day in both days against Eastern Harps. He was getting a fist in, he was getting a hand in, he was getting a leg into vital balls and creating chances up front for Coolera to take. Pádraig Doohan is a real workhorse. He's an engine in him. He's all over the pitch. You can see him back in the full back line, up in the forward line, finishing off a score, as is Mark Gormley. Kieran Quinn, another man that's on the county panel at the moment, he's in under Peter Ford. So really all four players have been in form at the moment, and I think the day that's in it, thankfully it's isn't raining at the moment, but the game will be won today in the breaking ball. It's going to be an awful lot of breaking ball around the middle of the pitch, and if John McPardle and Carol O'Neill, Liam Healy can pick up those breaks and send it into the full forward line, Coolera could take it. But the same can be said, of course, of Bunninadden. They're going to pick up the breaks all over the pitch, and if they can take their chances today, I think there's going to be very little in it. I'd say Coolera have been favourites to take the title today, but Bunninadden are going to be thereabouts.
Tell us one way or the other.
I fancy Coolera to take it, but I think Bunninadden are going to be very difficult to beat. Coolera have a habit on the big day of not producing it, and I hope for their sake that today they don't drop their guard. They have a habit, I know in the past, that they didn't produce it on the big day, and hopefully they can do it for themselves.
One of the differences people noticed in the semi-final. People didn't expect them to do it the second day against Eastern Harps.
That's true, and many people say that could have been their final, but I don't think so. I think they're tuned up, they're well aware of the challenge against Bunninadden, and James Kieran has his team up and rearing to go, and I think we could be in for, people think that today in inclement weather conditions, but it could be a classic senior county final today, Anthony.
So Bernie's opting for Coolera Strandhill. Barnes, what's the verdict?
Well, I think at the end of the day, Anthony, it'll come down to free taking, and I wasn't very impressed with Coolera's free taking the last day, and they had a few lads that were very good in the drawing game with their free taking, but when it came to the last day, they missed vital frees on both sides of the field. Now Bunninadden are very good when it comes to free taking. They are very good, and I think that the game will, I suppose, more than all games now, will hinge around the middle of the field, and it depends on who's the strongest round about there. I know Pádraig Doohan and Mark Gormley are playing very well, so is Kieran Quinn and either Terry McMahon or Stephen Carty. So at the end of the day, I think the game will be very, very close, and I would have a funny feeling for the Bunninadden that they'll pull it off today. It'll be very close, maybe a point or two in it, but I think Bunninadden at the end of the day might pull this game off.
So it's 50-50 in the cruiser, and I'm sitting on the fence. Tommy Marin is the match commentator. Analysis by Tola Strand manager Neil Egan. Over to you, Tommy.
Thank you very much indeed, Anthony, and you are indeed welcome here to our commentary position. The Ownby Hunt Cup is what up for grabs, and I suppose at the very beginning of this campaign, if somebody was to tell you that Coolera Strandhill and Bunninadden would be the two finalists, you'd have got extremely high odds indeed of that happening. The teams, as you say, are out on the pitch. I can tell you that Bunninadden are going to be with us in a few moments' time in terms of what we're going to talk about, and also Coolera Strandhill are playing with the advantage of a breeze in the first half. The breeze is blowing from our right to left and into the town end goals, and that's obviously going to be an advantage for Coolera Strandhill. Now quickly the teams, let me give you the Coolera Strandhill team first. Aidan Carty in goal, the full back line, Gavin Foley, Neil Carew, James Joyce, Tony Waters, Barry Doyle, Shane O'Neill. Midfield, Kieran Quinn and Terry McMahon, Carol O'Neill, John McPardle and Liam Healy, and the full forward line of Paul Hegarty, Stephen Carty and Carl Gilligan. I'll give you the Bunninadden team in just a moment, but there is 1 minute silence here at the moment. Let me give you that Bunninadden team now. In goal, Michael Finn, the full back line on the left, Stephen Roddy. Francie O'Dowd is the full back for Bunninadden today, and Shane Gormley is on the right. The half forwards, John O'Flaherty, Kieran Brett and Willie Gormley. Midfield for Bunninadden, Pádraig Doohan and Mark Gormley. The half forwards, Derek Gormley, Liam Gormley and Paul Kearns. And the full forward line of Aidan Killoran, Fergal O'Flaherty, the captain of Bunninadden today, and Emmett Gilhooly, top of the right. That's the Bunninadden team. As I say, there is a minute silence as we speak. and quite a good crowd here in Markovich Park this afternoon. Certainly everybody from the Bunninadden and indeed the Coolera Strandhill regions are here today, but lots of outsiders as well from all over the county and indeed the province are here this afternoon to witness this, the showpiece of the Sligo County football calendar. So our Ronavine is over. We're almost ready now for the throw-in of the game. Neil Egan, Turles Strand manager, is with me in the commentary position. Neil, Coolera Strandhill playing with the advantage of a breeze in this first half. How do you think that's going to pan out?
Well, in any games like this, when you get an advantage, you should play it. And Bunninadden seems to have won the toss, and they're going to play into the town in with the breeze in the first half. And it'll be up to them to make advantage count in this 30 minutes, because it is a blustery day, and whatever scores they can get, well, then they'll have to defend that in the second half. So it'll be very important that they get at least a good few scores ahead by half time, maybe 5 or 6 points ahead by half time.
Okay, we'll have to see what happens. The referee, of course, this afternoon, Thomas Walsh from St. Michael's. Already I can tell you that Stephen Carty, the Coolera Strandhill full forward, is out in the midfield position along with Kieran Quinn, and it's Pádraig Doohan and Mark Gormley for Bunninadden. The referee, as I say, is Thomas Walsh. He's just waiting for it to be exactly 4 o'clock before we have the throw in. He checks with his linesmen on each side, his umpires to the right and to the left, and we're almost set to go here for this, the first Sligo Senior County Final of the new millennium. Ball is up and this game is underway. Straight away there's a tussle for possession in the middle of the field, and it's Stephen Carty who gets there for Coolera Strandhill. Goes on a quick solo run, tries to channel it through the centre, 45 metres out from the Bunninadden goal. That slippy ball is not easily taken up, but it is eventually. But then there's a pick off the ground right in front of the referee's eyes by Kieran Quinn, and that's going to be a free up to Bunninadden in these early stages. It's going to be taken by Willie Gormley, the number 7 for Bunninadden. High and long to the far side of the field. Up they rise for it. The punching ball is broken down into the midfield area, where it's gathered by Kieran Quinn for Coolera Strandhill. Quinn easily using Shane O'Neill on that far side as Coolera break just over the halfway line. Again they go punt it through the centre of the Bunninadden defence, but gathering it there for Bunninadden is Paul Kieran's playing fairly deep in these opening stages. He goes hands to toe once, then twice, then tries to feed it through to Fergal Flaherty, but that's far too long for Flaherty, and it's gathered by James Joyce for Coolera Strandhill. Joyce uses the ball well onto the far side of the field, where it's gathered by Carl O'Neill for Coolera Strandhill. O'Neill nicely in field now to Kieran Quinn. Quinn is 35 metres out, going on a run, takes a shot with his right foot, and it goes just to the left and it goes wide. So an early let off there for Bunninadden, the first wide of the game from the boot of Kieran Quinn. In these early stages, Neil Egan, I would suggest to you that obviously Coolera Strandhill are trying to pump the ball through the middle there to John McPartland and to Stephen Carty.
That's right, they've moved Stephen Carty out of the midfield. He is a better midfielder than a full forward, and they're playing the ball along into John McPartland.
A great catch in the middle of the field by Pádraig Doohan for Bunninadden, and the delivery is a long one, but it's not a very accurate one, and Shane O'Neill, the captain of Coolera Strandhill, gathers it. He's on his own 45 metre line, decides to hand pass it to James Joyce. Joyce now going on a solo run up to the centre of the field. It's a high ball, but it's too long indeed, and it's well gauged over there by Shane Gormley for Bunninadden. He gives it in field, and the long ball is driven down here. Up there, Eifert. Here's an early chance of a score. Liam Gormley is in there, but good defensive play there by Aidan Carty, the Coolera Strandhill goalkeeper. He had to be off his line very quickly indeed as that ball stole over the head of Neil Carew, but it's cleared by Coolera Strandhill up to the centre of the field, but there's nobody there for Coolera Strandhill. There is Pádraig Doohan there for Bunninadden, right footed. He drives the ball in long again it's Liam Gormley trying to get on the end of it, but good covering coming in there by Barry Doyle, the centre half back of Coolera Strandhill. Just took it off the boot there of Liam Gormley. Still though, Bunninadden press on that far side of the field with Aidan Killoran. Killoran gets it into the corner forward Emmett Galouli very close to the sideline on that far side of the field. It's an inaccurate pass from him, and Coolera Strandhill now will pass it, but passing it very short in their own 21 metre line in the end, though there's a foul coming in there on Liam Healy, and that's going to be a free out to Coolera Strandhill in these early stages. Neil, interesting there that Coolera were interested in passing the ball out from defence there as opposed to the long clearance with the wind advantage.
Well, Coolera were playing actually into the breeze there, so they'll be holding on to possession. But Bunninadden are happy to pump the ball in high, but Coolera are breaking the ball away, and they seem to be picking up on the breaks. They've James Joyce is out in centre half back position, and they've moved Barry Doyle into the corner. So they're strengthening up their backs in this half anyway to combat any attacks that Bunninadden might have.
Yeah, let me actually clarify. It's Bunninadden who are playing with the advantage of the breeze in this first half from our right to left. So just to clarify that, I can tell you that Liam Healy is okay. He's back on his feet again. It's going to be a free to Coolera Strandhill, just about 35 metres out from their own post on that far side of the field, and that's Shane O'Neill, the captain, on that far wing now with his left foot drives it into the breeze very close to the touchline just over the halfway line. It's gone out of play, and that's going to be a line ball to Bunninadden on that far side now. A chance with the breeze advantage to loft this one in high and long. Here comes the Gary Owen style kick taken by Willie Gormley. It's going to drop 35 metres out from the Coolera Strandhill goals, but again the breaking ball, as Bernie Mulhern was telling us, all vital this afternoon. Gavin Foley is there for Coolera Strandhill, and again Shane O'Neill, the captain, gets it for Coolera Strandhill. It's a poor pass from him straight to Pádraig Doohan. 45 metres out now, he goes on a run. Here goes Doohan now, 30 metres out, right footed. Is this the opening score of the game? Yes, it is. Pádraig Doohan, the scorer for Bunninadden. That's the opening score of the game. And a nice point it was too, from a loose clearance by Shane O'Neill. Doohan got it about 60 metres out, went on a solo run, and from just about 35 metres out with his right foot, he put that ball straight over the bar, and that should be a settling score, Neil.
It should, yeah. It came after 4 minutes there. Pádraig made a good run through the middle there, looked up and popped it over the bar. It's just what Bunninadden needs in the early minutes to settle them down and get into score rhythm using the breeze.
Lots of green and white flags waving around Markovich Park to greet that opening score of this senior final, of course, brought to you today here on Northwest Radio by NCF Sligo Dairies and NCF Meats. Aidan Carty has the kick out for Coolera Strandhill. It's a good one against the breeze. To the middle of the field it goes, where it's gathered by Carol O'Neill for Coolera Strandhill. Goes on a run, once, twice, goes soloing, 3 solos now. He's 35 metres out. He gets beyond 2 challenges from Bunninadden players. Then comes the kick, and that's a great score. Carol O'Neill got it in the middle of the field, travelled about 30 metres with the ball, and from about 40 metres out with his left foot, beautiful score against the breeze, over the bar, and that's the equalising score for Coolera Strandhill. And that's just the kind of retort that certainly Declan McCabe would have wanted, Neil.
It is, Tommy, because Coolera in the championship so far relied upon John McPartlin to get a lot of the scores, but Carol O'Neill took on the responsibility. He went 40 yards there and kicked a left-footed ball over the bar. A great score for Coolera.
1 point apiece. We've played almost 5 minutes as the kick out is taken and gathered for Bunninadden by Paul Kearns. Kearns takes a return pass then from Pádraig Doohan. Still Bunninadden are in possession just inside the halfway line, and that's a strong challenge coming in on Derek Gormley there. Took a bit of a knock to the ankle, I think it is, but he's okay. He's up on his feet again, and that's going to be a free to Bunninadden just inside the Coolera Strandhill half of the field. It's going to be Mark Gormley who'll take the free for the Bunninadden lads. Left footed, he kicks this one a little shorter, looking for Fergal O'Flaherty. O'Flaherty has been challenged there by Neil Carew. Still he has it though. O'Flaherty looks to make an angle for himself, and right underneath the nose of the referee, Neil Carew tugs at Fergal O'Flaherty's jersey, and that's going to be a free in to Bunninadden, and a chance now for Bunninadden to secure their second score of the game. That's Pádraig Doohan, I think, who's going to be taking it.
No, Aidan
Cologne,
yes.
Aidan Cologne is going to take it. It's about 35 metres out, almost dead straight in front of the goals. So, all silence around Markovich Park. Let's see what happens here. He's going to go back about 6-7 paces. This is going to be a left-footed kick. It's kicked now, it's kicked low, but it's just over the bar. That's the point. Aidan Cologne, the scorer for Bunninadden from the free. So Bunninadden lead by 2 points to Coolera Strandhill's 1, and we've played almost 7 minutes of this first half. I'll go over to Paddy Henry on the touchline in just a moment to see what the early signs are. Just let's stick with play for a moment. Aidan Carty is going to take the free out for Coolera Strandhill. Remember, they're playing into a stiff breeze. Bunninadden have the breeze in the first half, and probably worth 4 or 5 points at least going in at the break, one would suggest. Aidan Carty's kick with the right foot now is high. It's going to catch a bit in the breeze. Underneath it for Coolera Strandhill is Terry McMahon. He's able to fist it forward nicely to Stephen Carty and takes the return pass himself. McMahon now with his right foot looking for a runner. That runner happens to be on this occasion John McPartlin, but it goes out over the sideline, and that's going to be a line ball to Bunninadden. Paddy Henry, just any early reports for us over there on the sideline?
Well, at this stage, obviously, for James Kearns, there's a little bit more pressure in the sense that they feel they must get up an early lead. Coolera have introduced a few switches in their defence. Gavin Foley has moved from number 2 to left half back to counter Willie Gormley. At the moment, there's a bit of a concern on the Bunninadden bench here with an injury, because coming into the game, Francis Dow did carry an injury, and I think it's him that's down there, and I see the referee looking for attention, so this could be maybe a substitution.
Okay, Paddy, thank you for that. So as Paddy says, Francis O'Dowd is injured, and that's going to be a big blow, isn't it, Neil?
It is, Tommy, because in the last semi-final he intercepted one ball, and he picked up a very serious knee injury. They seem to be leading him off the field. It would not be looking good for Bunninadden, and it looks like he has to be replaced, Tommy.
Okay, and Paddy, I don't know if you can tell us who the substitute is going to be there.
Yes, the substitution is David Killorn. Now, I imagine that the Bunninadden bench are well prepared for this, because James Kearns did tell me prior to the game that his knee was quite suspect.
So David Coolera is coming in for Bunninadden, but it's an early blow certainly, as Paddy was saying there, for Bunninadden, although they were expecting that perhaps Francie O'Dowd wouldn't be able to make it through the full 70 minutes. So changes afoot, no doubt, for the Bunninadden team, losing their full-back, and sad sight to see Francie O'Dowd being stretchered off. I can tell you, though, it's not a particularly serious injury. It's a leg injury that he has sustained. And a generous round of applause from a fairly well-attended Markovich Park for Francie O'Dowd. So David Coolera is in for Bunninadden, and will follow play again because it is a line ball to Bunninadden, deep inside their own half of the field on this near side. And the referee, Thomas Walsh, will just wait to make sure that Francie O'Dowd is off the pitch before we resume play here. So the line ball is going to be taken by Kieran Brett for Bunninadden. So let's see what happens here as Kieran Brett takes the line ball for the Bunninadden men in green and white this afternoon with his right foot now. Brett gets it long and high to this near side of the field. Again, there's nobody able to gather it cleanly. Underneath it, though, for Coolera Strandhill is Terry McMahon. McMahon gets it infield to Carol O'Neill. O'Neill decides to punch that ball out to the far side of the field, where roaming for it is the ever-alert Paul Hegarty. Hegarty had a good game in the semi-final, I recall. With his left foot now, he launches it into the centre of the Bunninadden defence, but good covering there by Shane Gormley. Did well. Good cornerback play. He was fouled, gets up, takes the kick quickly and feeds it out to David Coolera. Coolera now infield. Bunninadden moving well in the middle of the park with Paul Kearns. Kearns looks for support, gives it out to that far wing. Chasing for it is Aidan Coolera, but gathering it for Coolera Strandhill will be Shane O'Neill, the captain. O'Neill is down on the ball. He's been pushed in the back by Aidan Coolera, and that's going to be a free out to Coolera Strandhill just inside their own 45-metre line. Remember, if you've just joined us, it's Bunninadden leading by 2 points to 1, and we've played now almost 10.5 minutes in this first half. But that's a very loose clearance by Shane O'Neill from the resulting free, and it's got out over the sideline, where it's now a line ball to Bunninadden. The ball is pumped in again inside the Coolera Strandhill 30-metre line. Fergal O'Flaherty having difficulty getting down, but the referee said he was being fouled there this time by Gavin Foley, and that's going to be a free in to Bunninadden on the Coolera Strandhill 20-metre line. It's to the right. And a chance now, I think, for Aidan Coolera again to take this free. He was successful on the last attempt. So Coolera is placing that ball just on the 20-metre line, about 12 or 13 yards to the right of the Coolera Strandhill posts. And again, almost complete silence around Markovich Park as he stands back 6-7 paces, then goes another 4 or 5 paces to his right, trying to get his angles absolutely perfect. Remember, he's got the breeze to his back, but it's a swirling type of breeze. With his left foot now, he clips it up and over the bar. That's the point. So a second point for Aidan Coolera. 3 points now for Bunninadden. Coolera Strandhill 1 point. And we've played 11 minutes of this first half here in Markovich Park. So Neil Egan, this is a period of the game when obviously both sides should be settling down. Bunninadden, will they be happy at this stage with just a 2-point lead?
I wouldn't think so, Tommy. Coolera have, even though they have only one score on the board, their approach play is much better. They're controlling the game much better. They're a bit sharp to a lot of the breaks, and this injury to Francis O'Dowd may disrupt Bunninadden somewhat.
We'll have to wait and see what happens as the kick out is taken. Again, nobody able to gather it cleanly on the first attempt, but the referee said it was pushing in the back there on Terry McMahon, and that's a free up to Coolera Strandhill on the halfway line to be taken by Liam Healy. Healy looks for see who's available. There are 2-3 Coolera Strandhill players there. One of them is Carol O'Neill, does well to pick the ball up. He's been challenged there by Derek Gormley. Still it's O'Neill with it. Fortunate enough to get the ball forward towards Liam Healy. Healy into the middle of the park now, 40 metres out from the Coolera Strandhill, from the Bunninadden post, I should say, as John McPartland goes on a run, takes a shot. He had to hurry his shot a little bit there. Good defending by the Bunninadden defence there. They certainly grouped well around John McPartland. They gave him very little room in which to swing the boot, and in the end McPartland's kick with the right foot went just to the right of the upright and wide. So that's the second wide of the game for Coolera Strandhill. And it's going to be a kick out now for Michael Finn, the 32-year-old Bunninadden goalkeeper. Finn with his right foot, a good high one, not a particularly long one though, in view of the fact that they've got the breeze. But the breaking ball falls to John O'Flaherty for Bunninadden. Flaherty tries to feed it through to Liam O'Gormley, but that time he's beaten there by James Joyce, wearing number 22, a late replacement on the Coolera Strandhill team. That ball is very close to the sideline, just almost on the halfway line, and a good catch and pick up there by Liam O'Gormley. Then he was fouled, and that's going to be a free up to Bunninadden, just inside their own half of the field. Again, the kick is taken quickly and high. They're looking for the long, lanky Fergal O'Flaherty, but this time Shane O'Neill cuts out the danger, and it's Coolera Strandhill who can break inside their own half of the field. Kieran Quinn loses possession, a bit casual there by the Coolera Strandhill number 8, and it's picked up by the other number 8 now, Porrick Doohan for Bunninadden. Doohan tries to get past A strong challenge there from Kieran Quinn. Still though Bunninadden have it. Fergal Flaherty out in the middle of the field. Launches that ball forward. Nicely infield now. Here's a chance for David Coolera. Coolera with his right foot, the number 17, over the bar. David Coolera, the scorer of the point, but it was a well-executed score. 4 or 5 Bunninadden players were involved in the move. Fergal O'Flaherty had come out towards the middle of the field to gather the breaking ball, fed it in towards Paul Kieran's. He in turn gave it in to David Coolera, and Coolera with a sweet right-footed kick puts that ball over the bar. 4 points now for the men from Bunninadden. 1 point for Coolera Strandhill, but let us emphasise again that Bunninadden are playing with a fairly stiff breeze in this first half, and we've now played 14 minutes of that first half as Aidan Carty, the busier of the 2 goalkeepers, with his right foot this time, he tries to far wing to see if he can get that ball downfield. No, he can't, because gathering it for Bunninadden is John O'Flaherty. Bunninadden now with the bit between their teeth somewhat, as O'Flaherty gives the ball back towards Pádraig Doohan on the middle of the field. That's a long ball for Doohan. This is good play now here for Bunninadden. Derek Gormley, surely a goal coming up for number 15, and that's Emmett Gillooly. Gillooly is on the ground, he shoots, it's brilliantly blocked down on the line there. Excellent defending coming in from the Coolera Strandhill. I think it was their cornerback Gavin Foley who was involved there, but from point blank range, Emmett Gillooly, really, Neil Egan, should have goaled there.
He should have goal, but I'd say, to be honest, from where I was looking, it appeared more like a penalty, because the goalie actually took the forward down and he rolled over, but Coolera have got away with that, but the Coolera defence were torn apart that time by a good move from Bunninadden, and it has resulted in a 50, but I think Bunninadden were shortchanged there from a penalty.
Mind you, we should compliment the excellent Gavin Foley, who came in and just from literally point blank range blocked the second effort by Emmett Gillooly, just as the Bunninadden supporters were ready to greet what they thought was going to be a sure goal for them. Anyway, it's a 45 to Bunninadden, and it's going to be Aidan Coolera to take it. Again, takes plenty of time in his run up to this one. Again with his left foot, he clips it left, and that looks to be good from here. That's a good point. And that's Aidan Coolera's 3rd point of this game, and certainly I think Barnes Murphy was Bernie Mulhern were mentioning frees were going to be very important this afternoon, Neil, and certainly so far Aidan Coolera has a 100% record.
He has, he's on song today, and Bunninadden need all the scores they can get, but they're having a good patch at the moment. Bunninadden, they're working hard out there, passing the ball around and taking any opportunity that come their way, which they have to do with the breeze, Tommy.
Okay, let me go to Paddy Henry on the far side of the field. Obviously worrying times this for Declan McCabe, Paddy.
Yes, indeed, and in the last passage of play there, James Kieran's was a little bit upset. He felt there was possibly a penalty, as Neil just said. It is noticeable that the withdrawal of Francie has called a whole chain of switches in their defence. We'll talk about those later now as Coolera on a dangerous attack.
They are on a dangerous attack, but then it's excellently blocked out there by Kieran Brett, and now Bunninadden go to the far side of the field. There's a chase on here between Emmett Gillooly, the corner forward of Bunninadden, and Barry Doyle, the centre half back for Coolera Strandhill, but the ball runs out over the sideline, and it's going to be a line ball to Bunninadden about 12 or 13 yards from the end line. So a chance now for another score perhaps here. On this occasion, though, it will suit a right-footed kicker, so I can't imagine Aidan Coolera coming over on this occasion. It's Fergal O'Flaherty, the tall, lanky captain, 24 years of age for Bunninadden, who's going to take it, the school teacher, with his right foot. This will be an excellent score if he gets it, because it is a fairly acute angle. It's just on the Coolera 20-metre line, on the sideline, on this near side of the field. Let's see as Flaherty gives full concentration, right-footed now. He launches it high, it's going to drop short, but it goes over the bar. Well, for a moment it looked as though Aidan Carty, the Coolera goalkeeper, was going to snatch that one from just underneath the crossbar, but the wind has carried it over, and that's another great point for Bunninadden, who now lead by 6 points to Coolera Strandhill's 1. And the referee is going over to have a word with Fergal O'Flaherty, and also with the fullback of Coolera Strandhill, Neil Carew. It's just asking them to cut out a little bit of argy-bargy. That, of course, is going to be a famous battle this afternoon, Neil, between Carew and O'Flaherty.
Oh, it is, yeah, because Flaherty is a good player. He's won All-Ireland with Band as well, one of these famous players from Bunninadden that won the All-Ireland 92. So he's got plenty of experience and took a great score there from that free.
Terry McMahon gets the breaking ball at midfield for Coolera Strandhill and feeds it to Carol O'Neill, who goes on one of those long, lanky runs of his. Remember, he scored a great point in the opening few minutes. This time he has to release the ball to Liam Healy. Healy in turn gives it infield to Kieran Quinn. 35 yards out from the Bunninadden post. Coolera are going around a little bit in circles. Now it's with Gavin Foley, the cornerback. Foley sends a hospital pass there into the direction of John McPartland, and really and truly a major collision there between McPartland and I can't actually make out which of the Bunninadden players is on the ground from our position here, Neil.
No, I think it might be Shane Gormley, because Shane Gormley moved into fullback to mark John McPartland when Francie Dowd came off, so I can't just say his number either. But I think that they'll be the two players that were involved in that clash.
It's interesting in that particular attack where Coolera Strandhill were passing the ball around in circles and really going nowhere.
Yes, well, a lot of the Bunninadden scores, Tommy, have come from Coolera playing the ball short out of defence. I know they have to do that with the breeze, but Bunninadden have capitalised on some of these chances and taken some good scores.
It is in fact Mark Gormley, the number 9 for Bunninadden, who's on the ground. He's a little bit winded, I think, but he's okay. It was a very strong clash there between Gormley and John McPartland after I thought Gavin Foley, the cornerback of Coolera, had given a really dangerous pass to the onrushing John McPartland. But the referee is giving a free in. It's a free to Coolera Strandhill, dead straight in front of the posts, about 33 metres out from the Bunninadden posts, and a chance now for Carl Gilligan, who's been very quiet in this game so far. A chance now for Gilligan to secure a score for Coolera Strandhill. They need one. They haven't scored since about the 3rd minute of the game, and we've now played almost 20 minutes. Let's see as Gilligan with his left foot comes up. He clips it just, I think, over the bar. Yes, it is. The umpires had a little look at that one before they decided that it was a point for Coolera Strandhill. So 2 points now for Coolera Strandhill. Bunninadden 6, so 4 points of a deficit for Declan McCabe's men to make up. Unfortunately, the rain beginning to come in here. I think we can expect a shower very soon indeed. Thankfully, the rain has abated for most of the junior final, which, in case you joined us late, was won by St Mary's. They beat Ballysadare by 2-7 to 1-9. Now, let's go back to the play again. Coolera Strandhill beginning to up the tempo a little bit, particularly at midfield, as their number 8, Kieran Quinn, goes hand-to-toe a number of times, then releases the ball nicely, 35 metres out from the Bunninadden posts to John McPartland. McPartland goes on a run, gives the return pass to Kieran Quinn. He's very close to the end line, needs support, gets that support from Paul Hegarty, dead straight in front of the posts. Hegarty with his left foot puts it over the bar. And that's a very good score from Coolera Strandhill. Paul Hegarty, the scorer. Good play, particularly involving Kieran Quinn, who got the ball in the middle of the field, fed it through to John McPartland, ran on, took the return pass, and then released Paul Hegarty from about 30 metres, almost dead straight in front of the post with his left foot. He slotted that ball over the bar, and that's 2 quick points in succession now for Coolera Strandhill. 3 points for them, 6 points for Bunninadden, as the kick out has been taken now by Michael Finn. A long high one towards the middle of the field, clipped forward on this occasion as Coolera Strandhill's midfielders were left a little bit standing. It's Bunninadden on the attack, but good strong full back play coming in by Neil Carew there. A strong, crushing, fair shoulder it was, and it's actually Coolera Strandhill who break now in the middle of the field with number 6 Barry Doyle. Through the centre it goes to John McPartland, 55 metres out now. He's being challenged by Paul Kearns of Bunninadden. McPartland falls to the ground, and the referee says that Paul Kearns was fouling, and that's a free into Coolera Strandhill. And suddenly, Neil Egan, we see a new Coolera Strandhill.
Absolutely. In the space of about 2 or 3 minutes, Tommy, Coolera have grabbed a few balls there at midfield. They've moved it forward, they've got themselves into positions, and they've picked off 2 good scores within a minute of each other, and now they're on the attack again. And Bunninadden seem to have reshuffled their team a lot. Kieran Brett, the centre half back, is back in the corner back. Their half forward is centre half back. So there's a few changes made there to Bunninadden's team.
As John McPartland takes the kick and takes the point for Coolera Strandhill. 6 points now for Bunninadden, 4 points for Coolera Strandhill. Let me go back to Paddy Henry again. Obviously a happier Declan McCabe now, Paddy, than when we last spoke to you.
Yes, great joy down here on their bench at the moment. They would see this last few scores has been crucial coming up to half time, and I'd imagine from Bunninadden's point of view this was the worst possible thing that could have happened, because down here along pitch side the wind is really strong.
Okay, so Bunninadden need more scores. Thanks, Paddy, for that, as the kick out for Bunninadden has been taken by Michael Finn. He's been getting only reasonable distance into his kick out, so this occasion he's fortunate that his fairly low kick is gathered by Paul Kearns for Bunninadden. Kearns' delivery is not a poor one, and again it's the Coolera men looking stronger at this stage as the kick is taken this time by Stephen Carty, who's playing in midfield, but it's not a good one from him, and the initiative is back with Bunninadden. The kick now is dropping 35 metres out from the Coolera post, and gathering it is Emmett Gillooly for Bunninadden. Not a very good pass from Gillooly, makes Liam O'Gormley work hard for it. Gormley gets it back to David Killoran. Killoran is 35 metres out. He hopped that ball twice, and the referee spotted it as well, and the minute he hopped it the second time, he knew when the whistle blew what he had done, and that's bad play unfortunately for Bunninadden and for David Killoran, and it's going to be a free out to Coolera Strandhill. Taken quickly now to their number 5 Tony Waters inside their own 45, but it's Bunninadden who are trying now to steal the ball away from Coolera Strandhill. They can't do it. Coolera are playing the possession game at the moment as John McPartland is very close to the sideline. Surely he's being fouled there by Shane Gormley. The ball is out over the touchline. I think that's going to be a free surely to Coolera Strandhill. The referee is going over, and really it's actually a shoulder injury to Shane Gormley, who came down heavy on the challenge, but there's no question about it that he was attacking John McPartland more as if it was a game of rugby than it was a game of Gaelic football.
He was, Tommy. He created his own injury there. John McPartland tried to go through him because John McPartland is a strong player on the ball. Shane, a minor this year, a young lad, he took the wrong option of trying to block John McPartland, and he seems to be in ferocious pain. His legs is kicking.
Extremely. It looks like it could be a collarbone, perhaps.
It's so simple. It's sad to see this, that he's down on the ground in such a pain.
Oh dear, he is in dreadful pain now. You can actually hear the roars from him as he's just on the touchline. It's certainly a shoulder injury. Could be a collarbone, perhaps, Neil.
It could, Tommy. It was so simple how it seems to have all happened out of pure nothing. But it'd be a dreadful loss for Bunninadden if he had to go off, because he has played so well in the championship and a lot of games against Eastkey and all that. And he's a Sligo minor this year, a very strong player. But it seems the referee is calling for the stretcher.
Yes, he is. There is no way, surely, that he can continue. Shane Gormley is in extreme pain. He's actually sitting on the touchline. We could obviously continue with play, but the referee is extremely worried about him. And it seems to be the shoulder that's causing the problem. But from what we can see, there's absolutely no way that he'll be able to continue. It will be a free to Coolera Strandhill. Remember the score, 6 points for Bunninadden, 4 points for Coolera Strandhill, and we played 25 minutes of the game. Now I can tell you that Shane Gormley is back on his feet again. Lots of concern around lots of the Bunninadden players, and the stretcher has arrived at last. It took a little while for it to get here. That's what caused the cheer from the crowd. But I don't know, Paddy Henry, if you can join us on the far side. Are Bunninadden expecting to make a substitute here?
Yes, indeed. Joe Scanlon, number 16, is warming up. Nobody on the line here knows exactly the injury that has occurred to Mark. Only genuine disappointment for him, being that he's such a young player. And it looks like Joe Scanlon will be introduced.
Well, there's no way, thank you, Paddy, there's no way Mark, or Shane Gormley can continue on. He's been taken away on the stretcher. So hopefully he'll be okay. It's certainly a shoulder injury. We're going to wait for a moment now, because Bunninadden are bringing on that substitution, and the referee will hold play until he gets the famous piece of paper, and it is going to be Joe Scanlon, I think, who is coming on for Bunninadden. And Neil, obviously for James Kearns and for Richard Brennan now, major headaches. I'll go to you about that point in just a moment. Let's follow the play, because the referee is anxious to continue. Kieran Quinn takes the resulting free for Coolera Strandhill. The ball is dropping in around the house, but gathering it for Bunninadden and trying to clear it is John O'Flaherty. O'Flaherty is on his own 20-metre line. He needs to get rid of this ball, but he plays a very dangerous type of pass there to Kieran Brett, still on the own 20-metre line. Bunninadden are still in possession, but they're playing possession football in their own half of the field, and with the slippy ball they'd be much better advised surely to get rid of it. And in the end, it's lost by Paul Kearns, 40 metres out, and here's a chance for Coolera Strandhill, number 15, Carl Gilligan. Gilligan going on a run, and then he's mowed down. The referee says play on. He's trying to release the ball. It's 20 metres out from the Bunninadden post. The ball comes back to number 10, Carol O'Neill. O'Neill takes the shot, and there's the point for Coolera Strandhill. And really and truly, Bunninadden have nobody to blame but themselves. They had at least two occasions, Neil, when they could have cleared that ball.
Oh, they had, Tommy. And before the incident here with the injury, the double hop there by David Clorne has cost Bunninadden a dear point. He was in a good position, and he made a terrible error by hopping the ball twice. Coolera's come up the field, Bunninadden has lost a player, and Coolera got another score, which brings a game within a point.
Bunninadden seem to have lost the initiative in the last 10 minutes as Coolera Strandhill comes streaming forward again from the kick-out. Carol O'Neill, 40 metres out now, looking for angles, looking for players on the run. One of those players is Paul Hegarty, but Hegarty is beaten to the ball on this occasion. And now Coolera Strandhill have to try and defend slightly as the ball is working the ball out, trying to work it out as Bunninadden, still inside their own half of the field. Derek Gormley on his own 45-metre line, very close to the touchline, tries to get the ball up, and then there's good forward play by Liam O'Gormley, gets past his man. Gormley is 45 metres out now. He's been challenged by James Joyce, very close to the sideline on that far side of the field. Liam O'G does well, gets the ball into Emmett Gilhooly, who in turn does well to pick it up. Gilhooly has been challenged on that occasion by James Joyce. It's a push in the back, and it's a free into Bunninadden, about 26 metres out from the Coolera Strandhill posts, and a very important free this now for Bunninadden, because really, Neil, they need to get themselves back on track again.
They do, Tommy, and it's an awful psychological blow to lose two players in the first half, knowing that they have to face the Breeze in the second half, and at this stage only a point ahead.
28 and a half minutes played in this first half. It's going to be Aidan Killoran, who's got a 100% record from his free so far, 3 out of 3. This one definitely within his compass. with his left foot. He hits it. It's going to drop. Oh dear, just to the right and wide. So there goes his 100% record, and there goes the opportunity of a point for Bunninadden. We've got about 2 minutes to go to the interval. We're going to have a fair bit of injury time because we had an injury, as you know, to Francie O'Dowd, and we had that injury to Shane Gormley. So we could be looking at another 4 minutes or so in this first half. Let's see what's happened. Paddy Henry, can I just go back to you for a moment? James Kearns and Richard Brennan, what's their thoughts at this stage?
Well, obviously, they're upset at the amount of changes that they have had to make to counteract the two injuries. I think the first injury meant four changes in positional switches. So obviously, they're a bit upset at the moment. I would say they'll be quite glad for half-time to come to try and regroup in the dressing room.
It's a free up to Coolera Strandhill from the resulting kick out, and James Joyce has run out from his cornerback position to take it. Then he takes it short to this near side of the field to Kieran Quinn, the number 8 for Coolera Strandhill. His kick is half blocked down. Bunninadden defender that time was Joe Scanlon, the substitute, just drove the ball across the field to the far side, and now it's number 12 Liam Healy for Coolera Strandhill inside the Bunninadden 45-metre line, but he loses possession, and it's going to be a free out to Bunninadden to be taken by John O'Flaherty. As Paddy Henry was saying, Bunninadden probably will be looking forward to the half-time whistle because they need to regroup after a good opening spell. They lost Francie O'Dowd. That was followed by the loss of Shane Gormley, and they've lost the initiative. And though they're pumping the ball long and trying to use the breeze advantage, it's Coolera who are mopping up all the loose balls in their own half of the field. They're going on the attack, Coolera Strandhill now, with Stephen Carty, who's played a Trojan game in the middle of the field. Gets the ball through to John McPartland. Falls on the ground. He's being challenged there by Kieran Brett. McPartland gets up, looks for support. Surely he's being fouled. The referee is waving play on, and then he says he's being fouled. And it's going to be a free in to Coolera Strandhill on the Bunninadden 20-metre line, almost dead straight in front of the posts, and John McPartland, who scored from a similar position just a few moments ago, has an opportunity now of levelling it up. As we approach the end of the first half, we're actually in injury time. John McPartland, wearing number 11, with his right foot now, slips that ball straight and true and over the bar, and that's the equalising score. 6 points for Bunninadden, 6 points for Coolera Strandhill, and we're playing injury time in this first half. So it's going to be a kick out to Bunninadden and to Michael Finn. And obviously those injuries have disrupted the Bunninadden plan quite a lot in this opening half, as Finn takes the ball and kicks it with his right foot now, gets good distance into this one. Up they rise for it, trying to gather it is Mark Gormley for Bunninadden, but he can't because it's actually Kieran Quinn and Stephen Carty who get it for Coolera Strandhill. Carty gets the ball in field now. McPartland is down injured. We'll stay with the play. It's still Coolera in possession with Paul Hegarty on the Bunninadden 45-metre line. Does well to hand fist the ball out to that far side of the field. Takes a return pass then from Gavin Foley. Still it's Gormley. Hegarty who's in possession. Paul Hegarty, he's been fouled, and that's going to be a free in to Coolera Strandhill. And an injury to John McPartland, who fell to the ground during the attack, and he now seems to be in a little bit of trouble as well, Neil.
He does, yeah. I think as he released the ball, he got hit, and he's down now on the ground. But Coolera have come very strong into the game the last 5-7 minutes. They're playing like a team, like a championship team that mean business here today, and it's leaving Bunninadden with an uphill battle as they face the half-time break on level terms, down 2 players, and having to play against the breeze.
So it's not looking good for Bunninadden at this stage, but they were written off before. I know St Mary's were well ahead of them in the semi-final, and Bunninadden came back. Paddy Henry, do we have any news of that John McPartland injury?
Well, he's still been intended to out on the field, but one wouldn't imagine a substitute now at this stage. He's getting to his feet again, so I presume he's okay.
Yeah, he seems to be back on his feet again. It's a free, and in fact, probably he's going to take the free, in fact, for Coolera Strandhill, and an opportunity now for Coolera to go in front going into the break. And remember, that breeze is very strong, as Paddy Henry was telling us down there beside the pitch. It's extremely a strong breeze blowing right to left, blowing into the town end goal, and John McPartland will be kicking into the breeze, but he's already secured 2 points from similar positions for Coolera Strandhill. And here's an opportunity now for Coolera to go in front for the very first time in this county final. He's 35 metres out, a little bit to the left, but ideal shooting conditions for a right-footed kicker. He's had no problems with his other shots, and the referee then has decided that he's not taking it from the exact spot, and referee Thomas Walsh has put him back about 3 or 4 metres. McPartland reluctantly goes back, and now he'll take it from the hand. Taking plenty of time here. It's an important kick. If Coolera Strandhill can go in front before half-time, this will be psychologically a big boost, and that's what exactly is what happened. The red and white flags are raised around Markievicz Park. John McPartland scores the point, and Coolera Strandhill are ahead as we approach the 2nd minute of injury time. Oh dear, it's gone all very wrong for Bunninadden. They certainly haven't had their slice of luck. In fact, the referee has blown up. It is half-time, and it's Coolera Strandhill who are going to go in front. In front, 7 points for Coolera Strandhill, 6 points for Bunninadden, and certainly Neil Egan. After a good opening from Bunninadden, they were working well in the opening 10-12 minutes. It's gone horribly wrong.
It is, Tommy, but as you said, Bunninadden before showed great character against St Mary's. They were down 6 points. There's a lot of heart in Bunninadden yet. They'll come back, and I'm sure they're going to try and make a game of it. But psychologically, losing 2 good defenders really upsets the team. And in any championship, you got to have all your players playing well to win a game like this. And Coolera, in fairness, they are the stronger team out there. They are playing like champions that want to be champions. They're defending very well. They're breaking the ball away. They're supporting each other. They're running well. Overall, they are a stronger team on the field.
That certainly seems to be the position at the moment as we return to Anthony. It's half-time here, and it's Coolera Strandhill 7 points, Bunninadden 6. Back to you, Anthony.
Many thanks to Tommy in the commentary position. As you heard, Coolera Strandhill lead at the half-time interval by 7 points to 6 over Bunninadden.
Northwest Radio Weekend Sport, proudly supported by Oates Conlon Brandy Group, the Property and Financial Services Centre. Telephone 071 41030.
The umbrellas are out in Markovich Park. The rain is starting to come down once again. Conditions very slippy underfoot. Half-time, Coolera Strandhill lead Bunninadden by 7 points to 6. The teams aren't hanging around. They're back out on the pitch for the second half. Before we go back to Tommy Marin, the commentator, analysis, Barnes Murphy and Bernie Mulhern. Bernie, you opted for Coolera Strandhill before the game to take the honours this afternoon. It looks like things could be heading in their favour.
Yes, right, Anthony. Yeah, it's really a game of 2 quarters in the first half. Bunninadden started off at a whirlwind pace. They went 4 or 5 points up. Coolera seemed to be totally out of it, at sea, totally all over the pitch. And then suddenly Bunninadden lost 2 of their full backline, Young Gormley and Francie O'Dowd, and Coolera have taken over the last 15 minutes. And, they're a point ahead at half time, and there's a good breeze there in their favour, so I'm going to stick by Coolera at this stage. But they are playing some nice football. But for me, Carl O'Neill there in the half forward, he's actually playing centre half forward. John McPartlin's gone in full forward, and it's working to a treat for Coolera. But yes, very, very good, and he is the difference, I think, between the 2 teams. And John McPartlin is using his strength and, of course, his experience to win the ball. And at the moment, definitely Coolera in the driving seat, Anthony.
Barnes, the first half of a game of 2 halves, it has to be said. Bunninadden with 5 unanswered points between the 6th and 17th minutes, and then 6 unanswered points from Coolera Strandhill before the half-time.
That's right. Bunninadden were really going well at that stage, and they were taking their scores, and when they were letting the ball into the forwards, then they lost the way of it. But I must say that from where I was and where a lot of people were, that Bunninadden should have got a penalty there in the first half. No doubt about it. Your man was on his own, was taken down. There should have been a penalty. And Coolera came back into the game, came back very strong, threw the ball round about and carried the ball in the middle of the field there. Kieran Quinn got some good balls, and Carl O'Neill is Coolera's man of the match there in the first half. He got good balls, held on to them, placed them round about, and they took some great scores. Like Paul Hager took a lovely point. Carl O'Neill got 2 points himself. Carl Gillen got a point from a free. And as I said at the start, that it's all down to the frees today. McPartlin is kicking good frees. Carl O'Neill kicked his. And no more than Aidan Killorn down the far end of the field. You'd say Bunninadden are up against, and they did lose Francie Dowd, a big loss at fullback, and Shane Gormley in the first half. So it might tell at the end of the day, but it'll be even enough.
The game is underway in the second half, about 10 seconds old. Back to the match commentator, Tommy Marin, analysis by Neil Egan.
Thank you again, Anthony. As you say, 10 seconds gone in the second half. No changes at half-time that we can report on. Bunninadden have it all to do. Let's see, can they do it? They've got 30 minutes to pull this game out of the fire. Coolera Strandhill leading by 7 points to 6, and they've got a strong breeze in their favour in this second half. The ball is out on this nearest side of the field, and it's going to be a line ball Well, actually, Gavin Foley was convinced it was to Coolera Strandhill, but it's actually to Bunninadden, and John O'Flaherty gets the ball. It's just inside the Coolera half of the field. Flaherty now kicks it in low, trying to find Fergal O'Flaherty. He's been bundled over. It's a free in to Bunninadden, just on the Coolera Strandhill 45-metre line. That was a blatant push in the back by Neil Carew, and a chance now for Aidan Killorn, who's scored 3 points in the first half, to do something quickly for Bunninadden. They decide to take the free quickly. Pádraig Doohan was as much surprised as anybody else, but he does kick the ball and it goes over the bar. There's a point for Bunninadden. That's a very good score, and a very psychological score for Bunninadden as well. In the first minute of the second half, Pádraig Doohan almost surprised to get the quick free from Aidan Killorn, but the ball just crept over the crossbar, and that's the equalising score, Neil, and that will do the confidence of Bunninadden no harm at all.
Absolutely, Tommy, because it was very quick thinking there. Coolera were expecting a long free. They've kicked it short, and Pádraig Doohan popped a nice one over the bar there, and it's a good score for Bunninadden.
So it's level here in Markievicz Park. 7 points for Coolera Strandhill, 7 points for Bunninadden. Bunninadden get the breaking ball just on the halfway line again with Willie Gormley. Gormley, the number 7. Rams that ball down forwards, gathered into the chest there by Aidan Killoran for Bunninadden. Killoran releases the ball just too quickly on this occasion, and it's easily gathered by Aidan Carty for Coolera Strandhill. The goalkeeper to this near side of the field where Kieran Quinn gets the breaking ball. With his right foot, it's a long, hard kick. John McPartland is chasing and gathering it. He's being challenged now by Kieran Brett. 20 metres out. McPartland makes the angle. McPartland takes the shot, and it drops underneath the crossbar there, and not too convincing of goalkeeping either by Michael Finn of Bunninadden. He spilled it, but he's gathered it at the second attempt, and now Bunninadden try to clear their lines. A Gary Owen style clearance by Kieran Brett it was, and it's now with Coolera Strandhill's Paul Hegarty. He's had a good first half. Hegarty, a wiry corner forward, tries to get the ball into John McPartland. McPartland is in possession, throws a fist there, gets away with it, gives the ball back to Carl Gilligan. Gilligan is 35 metres out, drops the ball underneath the crossbar again. Again there's a chase for possession, but it's good covering by Joe Scanlon, the substitute, gives it back to his goalkeeper Michael Finn. But Bunninadden really need to clear the ball as quickly as they can. Their number 12 is back on their own 30 metre line. That's Paul Kearns out to the sideline on that far side of the field. Kearns gets a return pass and then feeds the ball infield to Pádraig Doohan. One senses a new rejuvenated Bunninadden in the opening stages of the second half. There's a foul there. It's a free out to Bunninadden inside their own 45 metre line. They take it as quickly as they can. Willie Gormley feeding the ball up to that far wing, trying to get Bunninadden moving again. On that far side is Liam O'Gormley, very close to the sideline, needs to release it. He does. Gets the ball back to Pádraig Doohan, but Bunninadden are going nowhere at the moment. Great defending coming in now, and the breaking ball falls to Coolera Strandhill. There goes the kick, and that's the best score of the game.
Yes, they come from
Quinn.
Yeah, Kieran Quinn, one of the emerging stars of this year's championship. Kept harassing Pádraig Doohan, forced him into a mistake, got the block down, ran forward 10 yards and kicked a great ball over the bar.
Absolutely terrific play by Kieran Quinn there. He just stuck to his guns, blocked the ball down, took it on and scored a beautiful point. So Coolera Strandhill go back in front. 8 points they lead Bunninadden's 7, and we've played now almost 3.5 minutes of this second half. So it's going to be a kick out by Michael Finn. The Bunninadden keeper high towards the centre of the field. Up they rise for it as Pádraig Doohan tried to gather it for Bunninadden, but he lost the ball coming down, and the breaking ball falls to Gavin Foley. Foley releases it to this near side of the field. Stephen Carty all on his own, 45, 46 metres out. He takes the shot on with the breeze to his back, but it's just about a metre to the left and wide. So a let off there a little bit for Bunninadden. And although, Neil, I suggested that they've come out with a rejuvenation in the second half, they certainly look as if they're going to give it everything they have, but still one feels that Coolera Strandhill are going to be too strong.
Well, you would, Coolera hold all the aces at the moment, but Bunninadden, to their credit, they have come out, they've looked a lot fresher team, and in the first half we didn't see much of Liam Moog and all that, and Pádraig Doohan, so maybe this half they'll pop up and play a bigger part in this game.
Carol O'Neill got the ball in the middle of the field for Coolera Strandhill, then he dropped it, lost it, and now it's Bunninadden who go on the attack. A strong challenge coming in there on Stephen Roddy. He feeds the ball though to this far side of the field. Liam O'Gormley has it for Bunninadden, surely being fouled by James Joyce. Yes, he is. It's a free, and surely a booking in fact for James Joyce, because he was actually attacking Liam Og around the neck on that occasion, and the referee's not having any of it. He's taking a quick note of James Joyce's number, and it's going to be a free in to Bunninadden just inside the Coolera half of the field on the halfway line. And it's going to be the number 7, Willie Gormley, high and long. He kicks this one in about 25 metres out. Here's a breaking ball and a chance for Bunninadden. The shot comes in, a goal! Derek Gormley has scored a goal for Bunninadden. Derek Gormley, the scorer of the goal. It was a long relieving clearance from Willie Gormley. The ball hopped about 20 metres out. Suddenly Gormley found himself free, and he actually punched the ball past the out-rushing Aidan Carty. And it's a goal for Bunninadden, and now we've got a county final, Neil Egan.
We certainly have, and it brought the crowd to the feet. Something that it has been a fairly quiet game so far, but that got the crowd going now, and it'll bring more shouting into it.
It certainly will. As the kick out is taken, and it's Coolera Strandhill who get the breaking ball this time. Carol O'Neill, 50 metres with his left foot. He drives it in, but it's a harmless enough ball in the end, and Michael Finn can gather it for Bunninadden. He's on his own 20-metre line and decides to give it into Pádraig Doohan. Doohan to that far side of the field. Bunninadden now beginning to put their game together after having successfully concluded the opening 20 minutes by leading by 6 points to 1. Then they conceded 6 points without reply going into the half-time break. They lost 2 influential players, Francie O'Dowd, they lost Shane Shane Gormley as well. And certainly at half-time, everybody was banking on Coolera to run away with this one. But now it's a brand new game, as Derek Gormley's goal just a few moments ago has put a completely different outlook on the scoreboard as Coolera Strandhill now go in search of some scores themselves. Here's a chance coming in. Terry McMahon, the ball is on the ground, and brilliant save coming in this time from Carl Gilligan. Still it's Coolera Strandhill in the attack. A great save coming in from Michael Finn. Tell you more about that in a moment. Let's stick with the play. Coolera Strandhill 25 metres out now from the Bunninadden post. John McPartland is on the ground. The referee is going to give a free out to Bunninadden. He reckons that McPartland actually picked that ball off the ground. And there's another psychological boost for Bunninadden.
It is, yeah, and it's a bad miss for Coolera, that's what it is, Tommy. Coolera should have got at least a score out of that, and they're coming away with nothing. And Bunninadden are regrouping, they have their confidence up now, and we've seen in all the games they've played in the championship, they've showed great character and spirit and determination to come through games. And maybe this is the game they're going to do it again today.
Paddy Henry, are the Bunninadden tails up on the sideline?
Yes, a very animated bunch here behind me. The messages from both managers after half-time. James Kieran's felt that their team needed a goal to win this game. They have got that, so he's a happy man. Declan McCabe, his problem was for his players not to panic if the scores didn't come early on. They were in the driving seat just to maintain their concentration and not to panic.
Well, the excitement is certainly rising here in Markovich Park, and the referee is giving a free out there, and that was good decision by the referee because the quarterback of Bunninadden, Stephen Roddy's jersey, was being tugged there, and it's going to be a free out. Good refereeing, in fact. I think good work between the linesmen on this side of the field and the referee, and there's another injury, and it's been a game of stop and start, hasn't it, Neil? A lot of injuries.
It has, yeah, but it's a kind of a blustery day, and the field in certain areas is showing signs of wear and tear, and it's probably leading to some of the injuries, but here you go, Coolera again.
Here go Coolera again with Carl O'Neill. The referee played advantage on that occasion. Carl O'Neill comes in with a snapshot then that goes over the bar. That's a point for Coolera Strandhill, but in the ensuing moment of putting that ball over the bar, I'm afraid that Carl O'Neill is down in extreme pain. He took the strong challenge just as he released the ball, and he's rolling around in agony out there just very close to the Bunninadden posts. And now we've got two Coolera Strandhill players down. Paddy Henry, you might actually confirm who the player on that far side of the field is.
Who's it? Well, Carl O'Neill is one of the injured players. I'm not sure fully. John McPartland's the other.
Yes.
Both of them now been attended to, but no idea yet of the extent of the injuries.
Okay, and certainly Neil Egan, from that particular breaking ball when Bunninadden had the free again, they took it too quickly, didn't they?
They did, yeah. It's all come down to experience. The most experienced players out here will dictate games like this, and they kind of punted the ball away too quickly. Coolera picked it up, and Carl O'Neill made a fantastic run, and at the end of that he got a great score, but he also picked up a nasty injury. He was wrestled to the ground, and it's a game like this with conditions like this that referees have to give frees in case players are getting injured, because we have seen some injuries there today, and it gets wet and slippery, so the referee has to call up the game and halt proceedings to make sure that all the players are all right.
9.5 minutes played in the second half. If you've just joined us, the excitement here in Markovich Park is because Bunninadden are leading by a goal and 7 points to Coolera Strandhill's 9 points. A goal in the 6th minute of the second half by Derek Gormley has swung this game around now, and although the breeze is getting stronger, I think we also have a shower now descending on Markovich Park. So typical conditions, I suppose, for a county final. Let's follow the play. The kick out is taken from that point by Carl O'Neill, and it's a free in to Coolera Strandhill. Kieran Quinn has been pushed in the back. The free is just about 50 metres out in the middle of the park there, and coming out to take it is Carl Gilligan for Coolera Strandhill. Gilligan, I can tell you, by the way, that both players are okay again. John McPartland, though, is certainly trying to run off his ankle injury. He took a strong challenge there just a few moments ago. Let's follow the play. Carl Gilligan, a chance to equalise for Coolera Strandhill. Gets plenty of distance. Has he got the accuracy? No, he hasn't. It's to the left, and to the relief of the Bunninadden supporters here underneath us. It goes to the left and it goes wide. But certainly, Neil Egan, that breeze has picked up.
It has, yeah, and not alone that, Tommy, the mountain is filling up as well. The clouds are getting down closer to it, and it looks like we're going to be in for a dreary last half here, and hopefully that the rain won't come down and drench our supporters that have come out to watch this game today.
Bunninadden lead by the margin of just 1 point, 1-7. That's 10 points to Coolera Strandhill's 9. The kick out by Michael Finn. High, but it's not very long because that breeze is catching it. But fortunately for Bunninadden, the breaking ball falls to Paul Cairns inside his own half of the field. Cairns tried to channel it through to Fergal O'Flaherty, but it skids past him. And chasing back for Coolera Strandhill is Tony Waters. Waters now just inside the far side of the field to Kieran Quinn. Again, it's Coolera Strandhill who are trying to do the attacking with Paul Hegarty's left-footed lob. It's going to drop short, but it's going to be gathered for Coolera Strandhill by Liam Healy. Close to the touchline and to the end line on that far side. There are 3 Bunninadden players around him, and strangely, and there was no need for it surely, Stephen Roddy concedes the free, and that's going to be a free, and then surely now Neil Egan a chance of the equalising score for Coolera Strandhill.
Yes, and Tommy, this is where players give away needless frees, where teams can get easy scores. We saw Bunninadden in the first half. They give away some needless, or Coolera give away some needless frees where Bunninadden got scores. Now we're seeing the same pattern in this half where Bunninadden are committing some fouls there. And the player was surrounded by 2 or 3 players. There was no need to foul him at that time because I don't think he was going any place, but this gives Coolera a chance for a score.
Yes, it is indeed a chance for Coolera to equalise. They've obviously been stung by what happened just a few moments ago with the goal for Bunninadden by Derek Gormley, which came early in the second half. Paddy Henry, I think maybe there are some we'll follow the play. We'll go to Paddy in a moment. Let's see if Coolera Strandhill can equalise from this particular free. It's about 27 metres out. I presume it's Carl Gilligan on that far side of the field who's taking it for Coolera Strandhill. Gilligan gets the height. Does he get the distance? It's going to drop short and it goes out over the end line. It's gone for a 45 for Coolera Strandhill. Paddy?
Yes, just about John McPartlin's injury there. The physio said that he's just been treated for a dead leg. It's no more serious than that.
Okay, and he's trying to run it off as we speak. It's a substitute. No, it's not a substitute. That's James Joyce, of course, who's in from the start, but wearing number 22 is there on the 45-metre line. It's a 45 to Coolera Strandhill. Still, they try to peg back. Level matters here in Margaret Park. This time Kieran Quinn will take the 45 almost dead straight in front of the posts. He certainly, with the breeze at his back, should get the distance, but the question is, will he have the accuracy? It's an important kick. And Quinn standing well back, wearing number 8 for Coolera Strandhill this afternoon. Sizing up his options. There's nobody running short for him, so it looks as if he's going to go for the point from the 45. By heavens, he's taking his time. Comes up now 4, 5, 6 paces away, right-footed, and after all that, it's a fairly weak enough kick, and the breaking ball falls to the Joe Scanlon, the number 16, who gives it back very confidently to his goalkeeper Michael Finn, and Finn's clearance is a poor one, and here comes the breaking ball again underneath the crossbar, and as Neil Egan was saying there, the inexperience is beginning to show in the Bunninadden defence.
Yes, and there was a very dangerous ball popped in there by Tony Walsh on the far side. The Bunninadden goalie had to come very quick to the post and powered around for another 45.
So still Bunninadden lead by a goal and 7 points to Coolera Strandhill's 9 points, and we've played 14 minutes of this second half. Again, we've had a number of injuries. And I noticed as well that Bunninadden are playing very deep at this stage. In fact, in the Coolera half of the field, there are very few players at all. They're all bundled in now into the Bunninadden half of the field. Let's see what happens this time. From the 45, they've decided to change kickers. It's Carl Gilligan who's taking the kick this time, I think. Yes, it is Gilligan. Let's see what happens here. He drops it again. It's gone short. The fists go up, but this time it's a Coolera fist that gets to it. It goes out over the end line and it goes wide. So, 15 and a half minutes or so left to find out where the O&B Hunt Cup is going to go this year. Certainly, Neil Egan, I wouldn't like to call it, would you?
I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't like to put any money at this stage because Bunninadden have put in a spirited performance for the first 15 minutes this half, and we're all saying how Coolera might pull away, but that hasn't materialised so far.
1-7 to 9 points. Bunninadden lead by a point. Good catch on that far side of the field by Kieran Quinn on the Coolera Strandhill on the Bunninadden 45-metre line. Still he goes. This will be a great score if he gets it. The umpires look at each other and it goes to the right and it goes wide, and that's another bit of relief there for Bunninadden. Bunninadden, Neil, have the problem though that they're not able to get the ball up into their forward line.
No, it's Coolera is still working very hard in the midfield. They have been all during the campaign. They have good midfielders out there, good strong players, and Bunninadden are finding it difficult to get past midfield.
Yeah. Paddy Henry, I can see Declan McCabe marching up and down the sideline. He doesn't seem to be too happy.
Well, I suppose they're a little bit concerned now. They've missed a few chances, but yet they have the ball down in their area of the field, and I don't think there's any signs of panic just yet.
Okay, from the resulting kick out, it's Bunninadden who gather possession just inside the Coolera Strandhill half of the field, and a chance for them to go on the attack this time on this near full side of the field. A hand pass from Doohan there. As it comes to this side of the field, the chase is on here, gathering it for Bunninadden, and gathering it well was Aidan Killorn. Killorn releases it nicely to John O'Flaherty. O'Flaherty takes the kick, and it's going to drop very short. It's dropping right across the face of the Coolera Strandhill posts, and good covering there by Tony Waters. He releases the clearance to that far side of the field where Carol O'Neill has it on his own 45-metre line. O'Neill sells the dummy, goes in field, and then releases the kick long and hard, and there's a chase on here. Stephen Roddy, the cornerback for Bunninadden, beating Carl Gilligan to the ball. Did well there, the cornerback. He was under pressure and still is from Carl Gilligan. Gilligan is sticking to his tasks well, but good play there by Stephen Roddy. Did the business, got the free, and it's a free up to Bunninadden now. Just outside their own 30-metre line on that far side of the field, only about 6 or 7 yards in from touch on that far side. The umbrellas are raised, and I can tell you the rainbow is appearing as well, so we can expect a fairly heavy shower, I would imagine, in the next few minutes. Let's see what happens as Bunninadden now try to clear their lines with their centre half-back Kieran Brett. The long clearance now over the halfway line. Again, the breaking ball, nobody able to gather it. Then the ball does fall well there. Is that a foul? No, the referee says play on, and Fergal O'Flaherty seemed to take a strong challenge there. Let's stick with the play. The clearance from Coolera Strandhill is dropping 40 metres from the Bunninadden posts, and they're in possession now as Carl Gilligan is being fouled, and that's going to be a free in to Coolera Strandhill, about 43 metres out. And at the other end of the field, there's the Bunninadden player down, who Neil Egan, I thought, took a fairly strong challenge there.
Yes, there's some challenges going in that the referee is letting go on, but in conditions like this, I'd be calling the game up and giving frees, because we have seen this two nasty injuries today already, and you don't like to see any lad getting hurt, and I thought Bunninadden deserved a free in that time, and what has happened, the ball has gone down, and it's an opportunity for Coolera now to have a score with the breeze on their back.
It's taking them a long time to get that solitary equaliser, isn't it?
It is, yeah. They've had a few chances there. A few different free takers had chances to take frees, and they didn't take them. But I think John McPartland, he got hurt there. He was limping around, and he mustn't be in a position to take the frees. But I see now he's out now with the ball this time, so he'd be their most reliable free taker, and they're going to let him have a chance to see will he be able to convert this free.
Right, Derek Gormley was the player down. He's okay. He's back on his feet again. He seemed to take a knee into the back in the challenge. It looked to me as though it could have been a free to Bunninadden, but the referee waved play on, and now it's a free into Coolera at the other end. 1-7 Bunninadden. It's 9 points Coolera Strandhill. Will John McPartland change it? 43 metres out, dead straight in front of the goal. The wind at his back with his right foot. He clicks it high, and that looks to be over the bar, and it is. And there's the equalising score for Coolera. John McPartland the scorer, and so it's level again. Let's go back to Paddy Henry. Paddy, what's happening on the far side?
Well, just in relation to that incident, it was felt very much here that Bunninadden should have been awarded a free there. Down on the Coolera bench here, they're obviously glad again to be in the position they are, and I would think now at this stage they will be hoping for another score or two to cement this lead.
Okay, thank you, Paddy Henry. It's 1-7 for Bunninadden, 10 points for Coolera Strandhill. Well, the next score is going to be so important. Let's see what happens as Michael Finn takes the kick out for the Bunninadden men, who fought bravely in this second half against all the odds. The breaking ball from Fergal O'Flaherty's hand, nobody able to gather it cleanly, but then Bunninadden get the breaking ball with John O'Flaherty on his own 45-metre line. He'd be well advised to clear that as quickly as he can. He does, but it's a poor clearance, and James Joyce gathers it for Coolera Strandhill. Tries to release it to Stephen Carty. He's robbed in turn by Bunninadden's Aidan Killorn. Just on the halfway line, Killorn gives the ball infield to Pádraig Doohan. Doohan looks for somebody to pass it to, and that pass was given to Aidan Killorn, and he's fouled, and that's going to be a free in to Bunninadden. Not a good pass really from Doohan. He put Killorn under all kinds of pressure, and he's taken a head injury as a result, and it's going to be another free in to Bunninadden. And it hasn't been a particularly bad game in terms of sportsmanship. It's been a good game, hasn't it, Neil? But in terms of injuries, we've had a sight of them.
Yes, the sportsman-wise has been good. Like a lot of the players, they're using their shoulders to put in genuine challenges, but it depends on if you're going forward and you're about to pass the ball and you get hit open in the chest, well then you're going to get hurt. And I think Aidan Killorn, as he laid the ball off that time, he was met by Niall Carew with a strong challenge, and he went down, but I'm sure he's going to be alright.
So it's going to be a free in to Bunninadden. It's just outside the Coolera Strandhill 45-metre line, dead straight in front of the goals. But remember, the situation is that Coolera have that breeze, and it is a strong breeze blowing in their favour. So this time, Willie Gormley will take the free for Bunninadden. The last time he took a long free like this, remember what happened? Derek Gormley goaled for Bunninadden to put a completely different perspective on this game. Let's see what happens this time. Can Can something similar happen? Willie Gormley takes the kick. He drives it long and high. It's in around the house, but good covering coming in this time by Gavin Foley for Coolera on his own 25-metre line now. Goes on the attack. Coolera hold possession. A strong challenge coming in there. This time on Tony Waters. And the ball breaks and Bunninadden have it. Pádraig Doohan 45 metres out. He's been fouled and that's a free in to Bunninadden. Good robbing there and good grouping as well by Bunninadden, as they just refuse to allow Coolera the room and space they require to clear the ball. And in the end it's another free in to Bunninadden. This time it's just inside the Coolera Strandhill 45-metre line. Fergal O'Flaherty, the captain, is coming out to take this one. Is this within his range, we wonder? It's a long way out when you're kicking against the breeze. If he looks at the scoreboard, he sees 1-7 for his team, Bunninadden. He sees Coolera Strandhill 10 points. Nothing to divide these teams. As O'Flaherty takes his time, 5-6 paces away, kicks it now with his right foot. He kicks it long and high. The ball breaks very close to the goal there, but again it's their number 14, Stephen Carty, who's played very well for Coolera Strandhill. Clears the ball towards his number 9, Terry McMahon. McMahon paws the ball down and the clearance is executed then by Shane O'Neill to that far side of the field. But Bunninadden suddenly get the breaking ball and a good pass, or is it a good pass? No, it's not. It's a poor pass as it turns out there by Kieran Brett, and the initiative is back with Coolera Strandhill on the halfway line with Paul Hegarty, the number 13, goes on a solo run. He's 45 metres out now from the Bunninadden post, looks for who's available. John McPartland is there, but so too is Kieran Brett for Bunninadden, and between them Brett and Willie Gormley, Bunninadden rob McPartland. And that's going to be a free out again to the Bunninadden men on their own 45-metre line. This is a very tough game of football, uncompromising, neither team willing to give or take an inch, as the free for Bunninadden on their own 45-metre line is launched high and hard now by Willie Gormley to the far side of the field. Where gathering it now for Bunninadden is Liam O'Gormley. He's had a quiet game by his standards. The number 11 has to pick the ball up at the second occasion. Kieran Quinn is with him, the Coolera number 8, and then Liam O'Gormley gets the ball back to Pádraig Doohan. Doohan does a little bit of play acting with the ball, then he releases it to this near side of the field, but there's nobody there at all for Bunninadden, and it's easily gathered now as Bunninadden themselves go on the attack. Play is inside their own 45-metre line as Tony Waters kicks it now to this near side of the field where Carol Gilligan does well to hold the ball in his chest. He's been challenged there by Stephen Roddy just inside the Bunninadden half of the field. He's been fouled by Stephen Roddy, and that's a free up to Coolera Strandhill. Very tough indeed, Neil Egan.
It is. It's real championship football out there, Tommy. No team wanted to give way, but in fairness, both teams have put in a very committed performance here today. And the breeze is dying down, Tommy, in the last couple of minutes, so it's making it very even. And as a matter of fact, the cloud seems to be lifting a bit.
Yes, Paddy Henry might be able to tell us more about how that breeze is out there at the pitch, Paddy.
Well, it's still quite strong, maybe sliding a little bit. Declan McCabe was quite irate there a few moments ago. He felt his defence had the opportunity to clear, but persisted in some short passing, which obviously isn't very wise in a day like this. Another injury, I think it's Aidan Killeran down here, and if there's a substitution, it would probably be Kenneth Kearns, number 24.
Yes, Kenneth Kearns is actually ready to come in if he's needed, and Aidan Killeran has been in the wars in the second half. He's had a head injury, that I do know. He's sitting down on the Coolera 45-metre line. I don't know if he's actually... Yes, in fact, it looks as if the substitute is coming in, and we'll confirm that for you in just a moment, but there is a substitute coming in now on the Bunninadden team, and the referee Thomas Walsh of St. Michael's is just taking the piece of paper, and it looks to me as though Emmett Gilhooly is coming off. Yes, it is. Emmett Gilhooly is coming off. Paddy, you might just confirm that for us.
Yes, Kenneth Kearns is going in, and Aidan Killeran, I think, is the man coming out.
Okay, so there we have it. Last few minutes, of course, lots of substitutes happening, but Bunninadden now have played their third card. Kenneth Kearns is in. And we'll just double confirm that it is Aidan Killeran, but I think it may very well be Emmett Gilhooly who went off, but we'll double check that for you in a moment. Let's follow the play. Where is the play? It's 20 metres from the Bunninadden post. Here's a chance now for the number 12, and there's a point. Yes! Liam Healy has scored the point for Coolera Strandhill, and that puts the Coolera Strandhill men ahead. 1 goal and 7 for Bunninadden, but it's 11 points for Coolera Strandhill. And the minute it left his boot, Liam Healy's fist clasped the air as if that was going to be a vital score, and we did say, Neil Egan, the next score was going to be vital, but let's see what happens from this passage of play. Michael Finn for Bunninadden, the goalkeeper, with his right foot, gets it up almost to the halfway line. The punch ball comes down, and then it ricochets back there off Carol O'Neill, and John McPartland gets it. He's 40 metres out, or less in fact, for the Bunninadden post. 3-4 Bunninadden defenders around him, nobody able to gather it cleanly. Then a fist comes in, Shane O'Neill was Terry McMahon, I should say, was involved. There was an elbow flying, and it is in fact Terry McMahon, and it is, I can confirm, Emmett Gillooly who's gone off the Bunninadden team. So Aidan Killoran is still there, and there's Terry McMahon has been spoken to by the referee. There was a few elbows flying there before that free was awarded. Bunninadden have possession just inside their own half of the field. John O'Flaherty releases it to Liam Gormley. Liam Og now being challenged by James Joyce. Still he's in possession. He's 40 metres out now on the touchline on this near side. Tries to get the ball to the substitute there. And that is Kenneth Cairns, of course. Cairns can't hold on to the ball, but it goes out over the sideline off a Coolera player, and it's going to be a line ball to Bunninadden. It's 23 or 24 metres out from the Coolera Strandhill post. Fergal O'Flaherty, will he be happy to take it short, or is he going to loft it in around the house? house. 1-7 Bunninadden, but it's 11 points Coolera Strandhill. They lead by 1 point. O'Flaherty's kick is dropping it in around the house. Is it too long? It's almost too long. There's a chase on there as Kenneth Cairns tries to keep it from going out over the end line. He succeeds in doing that, but he only succeeds in giving it to the captain of Coolera Strandhill, that's Shane O'Neill. And O'Neill now has a chance to release the pressure off the Coolera defence, and he does so with a long relieving kick over the halfway line. It's gathered by Carl Gilligan for Coolera Strandhill. Gilligan up the line now to John McPartland. McPartland 35 metres out. He's being strongly challenged over there by Kieran Brett, the centre half-back for Bunninadden. McPartland is a strong player though. He looks for support. That support comes from Liam Healy. 25 yards out now, very close to the touchline on this near side. Healy kicks it high. Has he got the distance? It looks good from here, but it's not. It's just to the left and wide. There wasn't much in that one, Neil Egan.
I certainly wouldn't like to be calling that wide, because it went up high and it dropped down, but the umpires were right underneath it. But very close, I must say.
Absolutely. So we have about 3 minutes of normal time to play. 11 points for Coolera Strandhill, 1-7 for Bunninadden. Let's see what happens as Michael Finn takes the kick out for Bunninadden. They've got to get the ball up to the other side of the field. They do get it at the moment with their number 10, Derek Gormley, just inside their own half of the field. It's a bad hop. He gets a very bad hop. He has to go and pick the ball back up again, but he does so. Gives it to Fergal O'Flaherty, who's playing a lot deeper now in these closing stages. O'Flaherty tries to get that ball over to the far side of the field. He does so. It's a free into Bunninadden. They thought about taking it quickly. That's actually David Killoran who's fouled. The free is outside the Coolera 45-metre line, and it's going to be taken by Willie Gormley, who's launching it quickly. Here's a chance now of the equalising score from John O'Flaherty with his shoot. He shoots, but it goes just to the left, and it goes wide. And really, Neil Egan, that was the score that Bunninadden needed.
It was, Tommy, and he was all alone when he got that ball. He hadn't even to run. All he had to do was kick it. It was the halfback, John O'Flaherty that had the shot, but it was a loss for Bunninadden. That ball, it just skimmed the post and went wide.
Right, quickly to the sideline. Paddy Henry, what's the situation?
Well, bit of concern here. There's another injury down on the Coolera forward line, and another last throw of the dice for James Cairns. Barry Gillooly has been introduced, and the last man out actually was Emmett Gillooly, not Aidan Killoran.
Okay, that's the situation there. So lots of changes happening. Barry Gillooly is coming on, and the injury, by the way, is to Liam Healy, the number 12 for Coolera Strandhill. We're into the final minute of the game. There's a point between the teams. Bunninadden need a score. 1 goal and 7 points. That's 10 points to Coolera Strandhill's 11 points. It's getting extremely dark here as well, as the kick out is going to be taken by Aidan Carty. It's going right down to the wire. Northwest Radio Sport in association with NCF Dairies and NCF Meats. Coolera get a vital break in the middle of the field with their man of the match, Terry McMahon. A long relieving clearance going down there. Chasing for it is Paul Hegarty of Coolera Strandhill. But the ball is now with John McPartland there, that corner. McPartland is going in. There's a chance of a score here for Coolera Strandhill as Paul Hegarty is 20 metres out. Is this the score? A great block down coming on, but the breaking ball is with Carol O'Neill. 30 metres out. He doesn't decide to take the shot. He gives it instead to Liam Healy. Healy is blocked away. Great defensive play here for Bunninadden. Can they get the possession though? No, they can't. Not at the moment. On the middle of the field, Kieran Quinn has it. He's 45 metres inside. A chance coming in now, surely here. Number 12 is Liam Healy for Coolera Strandhill. They're about 25 metres out. Here comes the shot. It goes across the face of the Bunninadden posts. And Michael Finn, the goalkeeper, gets it for Bunninadden. They've got to get up the field as quickly as possible. We're in injury time. Bunninadden are down by a point, and their goalkeeper, Michael Finn, is in his own 45-metre line now. An incredible break by the by the Bunninadden goalkeeper as he releases it to Liam O'Gormley. Now, Bunninadden need a score. They're going to try and execute a free. They get a free, but it's too far out surely for a score. It's a free into Bunninadden. Remember, they're a point behind. We're in injury time. And it's going to be Liam O'Gormley who's going to take the free. He takes it quickly and he hits it over to this side of the field to John O'Flaherty, but O'Flaherty is being challenged there by Terry McMahon and loses out. McMahon has played a storming game for Coolera Strandhill, does well on the seat of his pants, releases the ball to Stephen Carty inside his own half of the field. That's a bad release, clearance from Carty, and it's back now with Bunninadden again. The ball slipping and sliding all over the place. Doohan has it, 45 metres out now. Gets it in field this time to Derek Gormley. Gormley into the middle there to the number 12, Paul Kearns. Bunninadden trying to execute a score, but it's a dreadful pass from Kearns straight into the arms of Terry McMahon, and Bunninadden tried to clear it themselves on their own 45-metre line. With Liam Healy, he would do well just to clear that ball. It's actually Carl Gilligan with it. Gilligan loses it easily. Here's a chance now for Bunninadden. It's their number 10. Here comes the shot. It's a dreadful shot from Derek Gormley. Oh dear, oh dear. He was dead straight in front of the goals, and the referee has blown the full-time whistle. Has he? No, he hasn't. Perhaps he hasn't. Oh dear, Neil Egan, surely that's it.
Oh my goodness, Tommy, Bunninadden had their chance there. Dreadful defending by Coolera, short passing. They got caught in possession, and Derek Gormley, straight in front of the goal from 14 yards out, had one of the misses of the day.
It certainly was. It wasn't even close. It was a terrible miss by Derek Gormley. Have Bunninadden got any more juice left in the engine, we ask? It's a free up from the kick-out. Terry McMahon, who for me has been absolutely playing a stormer today, Neil Egan.
Yes, well, Terry has been one of these players that has been thereabouts for over a number of years, but he's got himself back into great shape for this year's championship, and trained hard. He's been out there like a warrior today with all the Coolera players, and he's gone through a tremendous amount of work.
Floodlights will be required very soon if we don't have an end to this game. Paddy Henry, the last throw of the dice for James Kearns and Richard Brennan. What's their feelings?
Well, obviously now time is very much against them at this stage. The last thing they require is breakdown and play like this, breaking up the continuity. And it really looks at this stage now, if Coolera can hold it upfield, that it's their championship.
Let's see what happens as Terry McMahon kicks it long and high, dropping it 20 metres out from the Bunninadden post. Bunninadden are in possession with Stephen Roddy, the fullback. Surely he's being fouled. Yes, he is. And the referee gives a free up. So it looks as if the referee is still allowing more play to ensue. Let's see what happens. Bunninadden had a chance. They missed it. Will they get a second one? That's the question as Paul Kearns goes on a roaming run. He's just inside his own half of the field. There's a challenge off the ball, but the referee hasn't spotted it. Bunninadden's Liam O'Gormley on the halfway line. 3-4 players around him. He does very well. Gets the ball forward to Joe Scanlon. Bunninadden go forward with Fergal O'Flaherty, the captain. Inside the 45-metre line, he's been challenged. It's a free in to Bunninadden for a tug of a jersey. There are two players on the ground. Mark Gormley, I think, is one of them.
Three players, Tommy.
Three players on the ground. Oh dear, one Coolera Strandhill player on the ground. It looks more like a battlefield out there.
It certainly does. Like the last few minutes has been a titanic struggle out there. Coolera trying to hang on to this point, and Bunninadden trying to get themselves into the game for an equaliser. But there's a great opportunity now for them. It'll probably be one of the last kicks of the game as we're almost into 4 minutes of injury time for Fergal O'Flaherty to see can he have another day out for Bunninadden.
11 points for Coolera, 1-7 for Bunninadden. There's a free. We're in the 4th minute of injury time, just inside the Coolera Strandhill 45-metre line. This is crucial for Fergal O'Flaherty. Right-footed, he kicks it. Does he have the distance? Yes, it's a goal! It's a goal! It's a goal! Don't ask me who scored it. Now, the referee is going in. The umpires are being questioned. Hold on a minute. Is it going to be a goal or not? It is a goal, is it? Or is it a free out? Complete confusion here, Neil Egan.
Yes, no, the referee has given the goal.
It's a goal for Bunninadden. 2-7 to 11 points for Coolera Strandhill. This has been a sensational, and it's all over. Absolutely incredible finish. Oh dear.
absolutely incredible finish. Fergal O'Flaherty's free. It looked as if it was the last throw of the dice. It dropped underneath the crossbar. And really, Neil Egan, I don't know if you know who scored the goal, but I certainly don't.
I don't know, Tommy. There was a bunch of players in there. At one stage, it looked he was going to call for a square ball, but the umpires put up the flag fairly quickly, so the goal stood. It's a terrible blow for Coolera, who has been in this game all throughout, but this is the pride and passion that Bunninadden has shown throughout this championship, and they fought all the way to the bitter end. 4 minutes injury time, and it's a great day for Bunninadden.
Well, it's an absolutely incredible story. A point behind. We were in the 4th minute of injury time. Fergal O'Flaherty had what seemed to be definitely the last throw of the dice. It looked as if he was going to try and get the point. When it left his boot, it looked as if it was just going to creep over. It just dropped underneath the crossbar, and the Bunninadden fist got to the ball. And now we're going over to Paddy Henry, I think. Paddy, are you there?
Yes, indeed. With me, I have the winning manager, James Kearns. James, that was really heart-stopping stuff.
Absolutely. We never gave up, Paddy. You know, we talked about it at half-time, and we said, you know, we've played this team. It's the 4th time we played them, and the games were like that every time, and we just didn't give up, even though we played with 3 full-backs in the first half, which is, very hard to cope with, but fabulous teamwork, fabulous effort.
And in the scale, James, of your great moments in Gaelic football, I'd say this will rank up with a lot of them.
Well, absolutely. And the way I feel this moment, I can tell you that John O'Mahony won't feel any prouder if he brings the Sam Maguire back to Galway. I'm absolutely thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
Yes, it was a great display of grit in the second half. James, I never believe in this nominating a man of the match, but could you pick out maybe 4 or 5 players who you thought maybe pulled a particularly good performance out of the hat on the day?
Well, as I said in the build-up to the match, we relied totally on the team rather than any individuals, but if one goes to look for people there, Aidan Killoran in the first half, he was superb with his free kicks, kept us in the match, and I couldn't let it go by without mentioning Pádraig Doohan. He's an absolutely wonderful clubman, and I couldn't have more praise for any fella than Pádraig Doohan. Superb. But Paul Kearns at centre back was absolutely superb in that second half as well. And I can't forget the fellas that came in. Joe Scanlon did a wonderful job when he came in there as well, and Kieran Brett when he moved to full back as well played really, really well.
Yes, that was a factor how disrupted your team was with your injuries in the first half. What did you tell them to cope with that, James, at half time, and how did you kind of address the problems you had at half-time facing into that strong wind and point behind?
Well, we certainly had thought and coped with the loss of Francie, because we knew that wasn't a great chance of him playing the full game, but we certainly didn't count on Shane Gormley, and another player that I have great admiration for, wholehearted. But all we said was we focused on the last games that we played against these fellas, and the game was so tight and that we couldn't see it was going to be any different. We knew that Coolera had great difficulty in getting scores from play, and we focused on that, not giving away frees if we could, and thankfully it worked out excellently for us.
OK, Tommy, we'll hand you back to you. James is very anxious to make contact with this team here.
Thanks, Paddy. I don't know if you can confirm or not who actually scored the goal for Bunninadden. Do you have any clue from the sideline?
The scorer of the winning goal, James.
Pádraig Doohan.
Pádraig Doohan. He gives credit to Pádraig Doohan.
OK, well, it was Pádraig Doohan's fist then that has given the Ownby Hunt Cup to Bunninadden. Neil Egan, that was the most exciting game, and certainly finish that I've seen in a long time. Paddy, we'll be going back to you in a moment for the presentation, so you can follow the play there in the middle of the field. But Neil Egan, did Bunninadden deserve it?
Well, they showed Coolera had the opportunity, Tommy, to win this game in the second half. They had a lot of possession, but you must give great praise to Bunninadden for showing sheer heart, determination, and the pride of the parish to come out of this game. They've shown throughout the championship, from being in desperate situations against St. Mary, 2 goals down, they came back. They've done it here today. It probably a bit injustice. A draw would have been maybe a fair result on the day, but you must give Bunninadden full credit. They lost 2 players, but they still battled on. The players that came in played very well for them, and their supporters here are gone absolutely berserk, because it's one of the biggest days in Bunninadden club history in over 110 or 111 years. And it's now Bunninadden that's going to go on and represent Sligo in the Connacht Club Championship coming up in a few weeks' time.
Let's see, 1 or 2 points.
Dan Daly. What a ball for you. Tom's going to take a photograph first. You're going to take a photograph first, no?
Yeah, hold it up in the air, so never mind. Shake hands. Hold on. Okay, lad. Further, this side. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, now a big salute to all the clubs who partake in this year's senior championship, to all the players, the club team managers, the club officials, to the referees, the activities committee, and to the Paris committee. I also want to pay tribute to Marcus Park for their excellent facilities here today. I also want to pay tribute here today to Thomas Welch, refereeing his first senior final. I thought you did an excellent job. And also to the linesmen and officials. This year's senior championship final was a special game. Unique, as two teams win it for the first time in many, many years. I want to congratulate the Coolera. We put up an outstanding performance. They were picked for the first game, but I know they were a very talented team and a great club. And so in another time, we'll be back again in the senior championship final. So well done to Coolera. Good race for the day. I also want to pay tribute to our main sponsor, NCF Sligo Gears, for their generous sponsorship of this final. But today belongs to the people of and players of Bunninadden. Difficult days, but you had the resilience to come back, and you reap your reward here this evening. You own me on cup as well as Bunninadden.
I've done fair Bunninadden. Today! Start again, start again. Irish system. This is the end of a long, long journey. Lad, this is what's through. Junior, intermediate, senior, a lot of disappointed days. And we now reach the promised land, lads, and it feels fucking my... We wouldn't be here today only for the contribution of a lot of people. And now it's their turn to take a bow and take some of the credit for this. First group I'd like to thank are the players themselves. Every one of you fucking deserve it, lads. I especially like to mention the two boys that have gone to hospital now. We did it for them as well, and they were a great part of this, guys. Secondly, I'd like to thank the club officials, led by Christopher Marin, and all the people who helped behind the scenes, all the club officials, and the sponsors, Peter Gallagher, Richard Brown, and Chloe Perry. Thirdly, I'd like to thank supporters
who came today and have followed this for the last few years. This didn't happen just in 1 year, it happened over the last 5 or 6 years with a lot of work put in. And anybody who stuck loyal by it today, they deserve it as much as we do. I'd like to mention also the past players that aren't up here. Every man that ever put on a Bunninadden jersey can feel proud today. And also past managers. One of which is a manager of the Coolera team. He had a lot to do with this too. I won't forget his contribution. Aaron Louis Wynn, another manager, that I was at the pleasure of being under. They're two men that deserve a lot of credit as well. Lastly, there's 3 main men left. I can't forget them. First, James Kearns. One of the first things James Kearns said when he came into a Bunninadden dressing room was that he didn't want to be associated with a losing team. And he was true to his word about that. He was a winner as a player, and now he's a winner as a manager as well. Secondly, I'd like to thank John Spellman, one of the great cornerbacks Bunninadden never produced. And now one of the great selectors. And finally, I don't know what to say about the last man. He's been here since first game I played for Bunninadden Senior. He was manager there, and he's been manager every year since. We've had a lot of disappointing days, a lot of hammers. Today is the realisation of that man's vision. Right. Finally, I'd like to mention the Coolera GAA club. It's very disappointing for them. The game was, they thought they had it was in their grasp, and it was just stolen away. It's not easy to accept that. I'm sure one of the best supported clubs in the county Coolera, and some of the best young players, and I'm sure they're going to bounce back and win it. And we'll be delighted for them when they do. 3 cheers for Coolera.
How's that ball?